Naruto, my Sharingan can be embedded with infinity gems. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26 Tailed Beast. At the inauguration ceremony, Madara, wearing a hoary specially made for the Hokage, announced several appointments. He appointed Uchiha Izuna as the head of the Anbu to protect the Hokage's safety, appointed Uchiha Kamui as the head of the police department, to maintain the law and order of the village, appointed Senju Hashirama as the principal of the ninja school, to train the next generation of ninjas, appointed Senju Tobirama as the director of the Konoha hospital, to deeply explore medical ninjutsu and treat the wounded, and appointed Senju Itama as the head of the mission department, to be responsible for assigning commission tasks in the village point before the inauguration ceremony. The six of them had discussed these appointments privately. Madara originally wanted to appoint Kamui as the director of Konoha Hospital, Uchiha Izuna as the head of the police department, and Senju Tobirama as the head of the Anbu. However, as soon as the proposal came out, it was opposed by Kamui and Tobirama. Kamui said that his medical ninjutsu was too poor, and he was not qualified to be the director of Konoha Hospital. He also said that he wanted to go to the police department. Tobirama said that he was interested in medical ninjutsu and hoped to learn more at Konoha Hospital. Izuna said that he hoped to join the Anbu to protect the safety of the Hokage. The three of them each set their sights on each other's positions, and Madara made the exchange according to their wishes, which led to the appointments at the inauguration ceremony point. The six people each performed their duties, and Konoha village flourished. Every day there were people or families who wished to join Konoha village point on this day. Madara summoned Kamui and the other four to the Hokage building, saying that he had something to discuss. Recently, the Hyuga, Nera, Yamanaka, Akimichi, Abura and countless other small families have joined our Konoha village. Madara said solemnly, "Really? That's great. The village will definitely develop better and better." Dazuzi said optimistically, "The four major countries of wind, thunder, earth, and water as well as some small surrounding countries have also adopted the system of ninja villages and established their own ninja villages. I think Konoha village should strike against them now and not give them the opportunity to attack Konoha after they become bigger and stronger." Madara said seriously, "Madara, the village was established to end the war-torn ninja world and to keep the people in the village away from war, not for you to provoke a war." The Great Pillar retorted. Madara and the Great Pillar were at loggerheads, each holding their own view. What was rare was that Tobirama actually stood on the same side as Madara this time, believing that other ninja villages should be attacked, or at least their development progress should be slowed down. Izuna and Itama supported their big brother and had a great time arguing. Kamui sat there without saying a word, holding the teacup in his hand, savoring it sip by sip. Madara and the Great Pillar quarreled to the end, and neither of them could convince the other. They glared at each other and were about to fight if they disagreed. Madara and the Great Pillar stopped quarreling, and Tobirama, Izuna, and Itama also kept silent. Madara found Kamui drinking tea alone and asked Kamui to come up with an idea. "Actually, what everyone said is correct about this matter. The Fire Nation has a superior geographical location, abundant resources, and a developed economy. Konoha village has relied on the tax revenue from the Fire Nation to develop so rapidly. The comprehensive national strength of other countries is not as good as that of the Fire Nation, so the tax revenue will naturally be less. With less tax revenue, the development of ninja villages will stagnate. If these ninja villages want to grow and develop, they will naturally find ways to plunder the resources of the Fire Nation, such as launching wars." Shenhui said objectively. "Is war really unavoidable?" asked Dazuzi dejectedly. "Hashirama, you are naive. As long as there are people in this world, there will inevitably be wars. The model of the ninja village is good, but have you noticed? Future wars have become wars between ninja villages. Ninja villages are made up of countless families. Once a war is launched, more people may die. That's why I want to take action before other ninja villages grow and develop to avoid more deaths." Madara analyzed calmly. "We established Konoha village for peace, and the people in the village joined Konoha village to stay away from war. Madara, I will never let you start a war. Dabashi said solemnly, I can destroy those ninja villages by myself, without the need for the village's participation. Madara said domineeringly, Madara, I said, I won't let you start a war. I will definitely stop you. Dabashi said with determination, what? If they declare war on Konoha in the future? The war will still break out. Ask Madara, if that day really comes, I will stop them from starting a war. Dazhuzi said with determination, Hashirama, what if we are no longer here when that day comes? Birth, aging, sickness and death are part of human nature. Madara asked calmly, I believe our successor will handle the war well. Dazhuzi said confidently, Hashirama, we should clear all obstacles for our successors. And do you think our successors may be stronger than our generation? Madara asked objectively. The Great Pillar was speechless. It was no exaggeration to say that the 6 people present were the 6 strongest people in the ninja world. The Great Pillar was not sure that their successors could reach or even exceed their strength. The Great Pillar insisted that he would never initiate a war, and Madara was so angry that he had no choice, since we can't start a war and we want our successors to protect the people in the village. We can leave our successors the means to protect the village. As for how our successors use them, we will be buried by then, and we won't have to worry about it. Shenmue proposed a compromise plan. Shenmue, what do you think? Dazhuzi asked anxiously. The tailed beasts. Kamui replied, tailed beast. X5 There are 9 tailed beasts that have appeared since the time of the ninja clan, from the 1 tail to the 9 tail. They are a collection of chakras and are extremely powerful. A single strike can kill or injure a large number of ninjas. It would be best to collect them and leave them to our successors to protect the village, Kamui explained. That's great. If we distribute these collected tailed beasts to various countries, they will be afraid that the tailed beasts will cause heavy casualties in the war and will be afraid to attack each other. Then there will be no war. Dabashi said as a matter of course. The 5 of Shenmue looked at Dazhuzi as if he were a fool. Dazhuzi also felt the strange looks from everyone and said, no, can't it be realized? Then he instantly fell into a state of loss. Finally, everyone agreed that Mito would make the sealing container, Kamui would go out to capture the tailed beast, and the others would do their own jobs. After the agreement was reached, the 6 people returned to their respective posts. Their working conditions were very different from before. The tense and urgent atmosphere of the 6 people also spread from their respective posts to the village. The Great Pillar increased the curriculum of the ninja school. Kamui increased the security efforts in the village. Izumi continued to send people in the Ando to gather intelligence from other villages. Itama accepted many missions from other countries in the mission department. And Tobirama started human experiments in the Konoha hospital and developed forbidden techniques. Chapter 27. Capturing the Tailed Beast. Kamui takes the 9-tailed beast sealing containers made by Mito and leaves Konoha village to capture the tailed beasts. Open the Naruto world map, which records the whereabouts of the tailed beasts in great detail. In the land of fire, there are the 2-tailed Matatabi and the 9-tailed Kurama. In the land of wind, there is the 1-tailed Shukaku. In the land of water, there are the 3-tailed Isabu and the 6-tailed Rhino. In the land of earth, there is the 4-tailed Son Goku. In the land of lightning, there is the 8-tailed Gyuki. In the land of hot water, there is the 5-tailed Muo. In the land of water, there is the 7-tailed Shijiki. Kamui plans to start capturing the 2-tailed Matatabi in the land of fire, then go to the land of wind to capture the 1-tailed Shukaku, pass through the land of rain, come to the land of earth to capture the 4-tailed Sun Wukong, then go to the land of Taki to capture the 7-tailed Shijiki, take the water route into the land of lightning to capture the 8-tailed Gyuki, then take the water route into the land of hot water to capture the 5-tailed Muo, and finally can only go into the land of water to capture the 3-tailed Isabu and the 6-tailed Rhino, and finally use the Flying Thunder God technique to return to the land of fire to capture the 9-tailed Kurama. The entire route is like a circle, starting from the Fire Nation and ending in the Fire Nation. Kamui had no intention of becoming a Jinkriki, so naturally he wouldn't use his mouth to influence them. He opened his infinite Mangekyō Sharingan and released an illusion, and the 2-tailed Matatabishi stayed where he was obediently. He took out a sealing container and pressed it on the tailed beast to activate the switch. Dense spells climbed up the body of the two-tailed Matatabishi. After the spells covered the entire body of the two-tailed Matatabishi, they were sucked into the sealing container, and in this way, the two-tailed Matatabishi was successfully captured. Kamui put the sealed container into his personal space, followed the location of Shukaku, the one-tailed beast, marked on the map of the Naruto world, and launched the flying thunder god array to the Kingdom of Wind. The Kingdom of Wind is a large desert, with sandstorms from time to time. When Kamui found Shukaku, the one-tailed one, he discovered that Shukaku was building a sand castle, and was having a lot of fun. "Hey, can you play with me? I feel so lonely playing alone," Shukaku said pitifully. In his previous life, Kamui liked Shukaku, a one-tailed beast. He was not very intelligent, but was cute and playful. He liked to play pranks. In terms of appearance, one can tell a person's age by looking at him. When he was 3 years old, he was chubby when he was young, and he is still chubby when he grows up. As for why he doesn't like the nine-tailed Kurama, just because it pierced the 4th generation couple with its fingernail, Kamui couldn't like it. Okay. Shenhui agreed readily. The fiery red Susanoo slowly appeared. The one-tailed Shukaku recognized the ability of Susanoo and murmured, "Brother Indra." Kamui controlled Susanoo and Shukaku to build a sand castle together. After working for most of the day, the man and the tailed beast finally moved into the sand castle. Happy time is always short. "Hey, are you here to catch me?" Shukaku, the one-tailed fox, asked Kamui. "Yes." Shenhui answered honestly, "No one has ever played with me. I had a lot of fun today. What's your name? Will you play with me in the future?" said Shukaku. "My name is Kamui, Uchiha Kamui, and I will play with you in the future." Kamui said, "Uchiha Kamui, I will remember this name. Remember to come and talk to me often. Can you please not lock me up in the small dark room?" Shukaku, the one-tailed fox, said sadly, "I'll come talk to you as soon as I have time." Shenhui promised. Pinky promise, Shukaku said as he extended his little finger towards Kamui. Kamui hooked the pinky finger of Susanoo with the pinky finger of one-tailed Shukaku. After hooking, one-tailed Shukaku waited contentedly for Kamui's seal. Kamui took out a sealing container and sealed the one-tailed beast Shukaku inside. After Kamui put away the sealing container, he set off to capture the next tailed beast. The land of rain is not very large, and it rains all year round. In the future, it will be the headquarters of the Akatsuki organization. Kamui passed by here and used Kagura's mind eye to sense it, but did not find any trace of Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu's whereabouts have never appeared on the map of the Naruto world. Kamui did not stay in the land of rain for long, and went to the land of earth with the flying thunder god to capture the four-tailed Son Goku. Four-tailed Son Goku. He is the worst among all those called Son Goku. Such a good name is totally wasted. The infinite Mangekyō Sharingan casts an illusion and the four-tailed Son Goku stops moving. While sealing him, Kamui is thinking about whether the four-tailed Son Goku was also sealed by the five-finger mountain of the Great Buddha when the Great Pillar captured the tailed beasts in the original story. Kamui is still daydreaming, and the sealing container in his hand has already contained the four-tailed Son Goku. Kamui thought for a long time, but couldn't come up with the picture he wanted to see, so he gave up the idea and set off. His next destination was Takakuni Point. Although the kingdom of Taki is a small country, it is a place with beautiful mountains and clear waters. Kamui guessed that Nanabishijiki chose to move around in the kingdom of Taki, and guessed that it was a tailed beast that focused on the quality of life. When Kamui saw Nanabishijiki, he found that his guess was right. Nanabishijiki was sleeping in the center of the lake, surrounded by mountains, flowing water, and forests. There was also a rainbow formed by water vapor in the sky. Kamui was jealous. He, the head of the Konoha village police department, was busy all day, drinking tea and reading newspapers, and now he had to go out on missions, traveling across the country. His place to live was only a little more spacious and comfortable. You, a tailed beast, who eats and sleeps every day, actually enjoys life better than me. Look, I'm sealing you. Thinking of this, Kamui took out the sealing container and pressed it on the body of the seven-tailed Shijiki. In this way, the seven-tailed Shijiki was sealed in his sleep point. Shenwei exchanged an inflatable boat at the mall. Shenwei threw the inflatable boat into the lake, lay in the inflatable boat, and took a nap in the middle of the lake like Shijiki Nanao Point. When Shenwei opened his eyes again, it was already dusk. Shenwei put away the rubber boat, flew to the port in the Thunder Godere, boarded a passenger ship to the Kingdom of Thunder, and set sail with the ship. The famous scenic spot in the Land of Lightning is Yunlei Gorge. In his previous life, when Kamui was playing the Naruto game, he liked to use the Wind Escape Rasen Shuriken in this picture of Yunlei Gorge to knock people out of bounds. This time, I went to the Land of Lightning to capture the eight-tailed Gyuki, and came to Yunlei Gorge to visit. I originally wanted to leave a message of "I've been here," but later I thought it was too uncivilized and would teach children bad things, so I gave up the idea. Kamui directly erected a monument of Uchiha Kamui's visit and engraved the Uchiha clan's emblem on the back of the monument. It not only satisfied Kamui's psychology, but also did not damage public property. Well, perfect. After Kamui erected the monument, he went to look for the eight-tailed Gyuki. The eight-tailed Gyuki said that it was in the territory of the Land of Lightning. In fact, it was in the sea near the Land of Lightning. However, this guy was not very honest. He made trouble in the sea near the Land of Lightning all day long, making the people living near the sea in the Land of Lightning dare not go out to sea to fish easily. They all entrusted the wreckage to drive this monster away. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 Hot Spring. Kamui followed the guidance of the Naruto world map and came to the location where the eight-tailed Ushiki overlapped. Kamui was now standing on a vast ocean, surrounded by only him. Kamui looked down and roughly understood where the eight-tailed Ushiki was. The fiery red Susanoo slowly appeared, and Shenwei thought to himself, it's time to test the waterproof performance of Susanoo. Before Susanoo could completely enter the water, an octopus leg whipped out and was grabbed by Susanoo. Susanoo pulled the octopus leg into his arms, and the full appearance of the monster with octopus legs appeared in front of Kamui. It was the eight-tailed Gyuki that Kamui was looking for. The eight-tailed Gyuki had just felt the power of Susanoo underwater and knew that the opponent was definitely coming for him, so he launched an attack without hesitation. However, he did not expect that he was no match for the opponent in strength and was pulled out of the water by the opponent. Kamui used the illusion of the infinite Mangekyō Sharingan on the eight-tailed Gyuki who was pulled over. The eight-tailed Gyuki immediately cut off the foot that was caught by Susanoo, narrowly avoided Kamui's illusion, fled back underwater, and activated the tailed beast ball underwater. Kamui attached the ability of returning to the void to the Fang Shinhuaji, and with one blow, he chopped the tailed beast ball into nothingness. Kamui controlled Susanoo to dive underwater. The 8 octopus legs of the eight-tailed Gyuki under the water waved vigorously, forming undercurrents. Susanoo had no foothold in the water and was swayed by the undercurrents created by the eight-tailed Gyuki. The eight-tailed Gyuki took the opportunity to launch the tailed beast ball on Susanoo. Susanoo was unstable, and due to the resistance in the water, he was unable to use the Fang Shinhuaji to defend in time, and was hit by the tailed beast ball. A huge amount of energy exploded in front of Susanoo's chest, pushing Susanoo flying backwards, and the eight-tailed Gyuki was secretly proud of himself. After the energy dissipated, the eight-tailed Gyuki looked closely and found that Susanoo was not only not injured except for being blown away, but also became more solid. The eight-tailed Gyuki couldn't help but widen his eyes and thought to himself that this was impossible. At that time, Kamui's Susanoo was unstable in the water, and the Fang Shinhuaji in his hand failed to split the tailed beast ball as he wished. Kamui suddenly thought of testing another right technique brought by his infinite Mangekyō Sharingan, the realization. Kamui had tested the effect of realization before, and once thought it was a useless ability. It was not until later that Kamui attached the return to void to the Fang Shinhuaji that the true power of realization was revealed. When Kamui attached realization to the Fang Shinhuaji, he found that the traces left by the Fang Shinhuaji after the attack would remain there forever and could not be eliminated unless the return to void was used to eliminate them. When Kamui attached realization to Susanoo, the fiery red translucent Susanoo was like a substance, and its defense ability reached the limit of damage immunity. Even if the eye technique Kamui attacked Susanoo, it could not cause any damage to it. Kamui also found that the Susanoo attached with realization was also immune to illusions, which made Kamui overjoyed. For this reason, Kamui explored the realization mode, the return to void mode, and the reality mode that took both into account the fiery red Susanoo, which seemed to be real, put away the Fang Shinhuaji, drew the bow and arrows, and shot out 8 arrows at once, nailing the 8 octopus legs of the 8-tailed Gyuki to the bottom of the sea and temporarily controlling him. The Kamui flying thunder god formation instantly appeared in front of the 8-tailed Gyuki. Using the flying thunder god formation in water would be affected by the water, resulting in the body being carried by the water flow after reaching the destination, but it was not a big problem. The Kamui first launched Tsukuyomi on the 8-tailed Gyuki to avenge the attack by the tailed beast bull, and then took out the sealing container to seal the 8-tailed Gyuki. After completing the capture of the 8-tailed Gyuki, Kamui came to the port again and took a boat to the Kingdom of Hot Springs. The most famous thing about the Kingdom of Hot Springs is their unique hot springs, which have attracted countless people who want to relieve fatigue. Kamui also plans to soak comfortably in the hot springs of the Kingdom of Hot Springs to relieve his physical fatigue. At that time, the first generation Hokage Madara gave himself a month to capture the tailed beasts. Now it is less than 4 days, and he has caught more than half of the tailed beasts. In less than 7 days, all the tailed beasts will be caught. I don't know when I can catch them again in the future. Kamui himself has a mission, so naturally he can't go to the hot spring hotel. He has to find a hot spring with a suitable temperature in the wild, and soak in it comfortably. Kamui, who is soaking in the hot spring, suddenly thought of Uncle Liu in his previous life, and made an excuse for himself. I have been catching tailed beasts for 4 days, can't I enjoy it? Let's continue playing music and dancing. Shenwei's sudden shout startled another user in the hot spring pool. The other user parted the mist surrounding the hot spring to see who had disturbed his interest. When Kamui saw the mist dissipate, he discovered that there was another user in the hot spring, who was none other than the 5-tailed King Mew, whom he had come to the land of hot springs to capture. Kamui and the 5-tailed beast stared at each other, neither of them taking the next step. The 5-tailed King Mew discovered that the humans opposite him were not afraid at all after seeing him. The 5-tailed King Mew made terrifying expressions on his face, hoping to scare away the divine power so that he could monopolize the entire hot spring. Shenwei looked at the 5-tailed King Mew who was opposite him, winking and making faces at him. Of course, he could not show weakness, so Shenwei also made faces at the 5-tailed King Mew and fought back. The man and the tailed beast soaked in the hot spring. Neither of them was willing to move, winking at each other. King Mew of the 5-tailed found that the other party was not scared away by him, but dared to scare him instead. So he said to Kamui, "Human, leave here, or I will eat you." After saying that, he opened his mouth and showed his teeth in a threatening manner. After hearing what the 5-tailed King Mew said, Shenwei didn't take it seriously and said to the 5-tailed King Mew, "5-tailed, leave here, or I will seal you." Then he took out the sealing container and waved it in front of the 5-tailed King Mew. "I am the tailed beast from the 6 Paths Age period, the 5-tailed king. I am the chief of Konoha Village Police Department, Uchiha Kamui. I will turn you into ashes with one of my tailed beast balls. I'll activate Susanoo and make you kneel on the ground and call me daddy. I'll burn you to death with my boiling shrine. I'll burn you to death with Amaterasu." No matter how fiercely the man in the tailed beast spoke, they did not move at all. Finally, they said they were tired and glared at each other. Neither of them was willing to leave the hot spring. Shenwei took out food from his personal space, waved it in front of the 5-tailed King Mew, and began to eat it in big mouthfuls, smacking his lips as he ate, deliberately trying to tempt the 5-tailed King Mew. When the five-tailed King Mu was hungry, he would leave the hot spring, and Shenwei could have the hot spring all to himself. When King Mu of Five-Tailed smelled the aroma of the food, he was indeed tempted by Shenwei. He wanted to try it, but he was too embarrassed to ask. He could only stare and watch Shenwei eating with relish. Chapter 29 Limited Time Event. After Shenwei had eaten and drunk his fill, he continued to compete in patience with the five-tailed King Mu. The five-tailed King Mu has been staring at Kamui, hoping that Kamui can share some food with him, but he didn't expect that Kamui had no intention of sharing at all. The angry five-tailed King Mu secretly used boiling escape in the hot spring. Kamui felt that the water in the hot spring was getting hotter and hotter. At first, Kamui thought it was a normal natural phenomenon and wanted to leave the hot spring, but when he saw the five-tailed King Mu soaking in it contentedly, Kamui decided to soak for a while longer. The fiery red Susanoo wrapped Kamui like a piece of clothing and blocked most of the heat. After a while, the water in the hot spring began to boil. Even if Kamui was slow to react, he knew that it was the five-tailed King Mu's trick of boiling escape. He immediately jumped out of the hot spring, held down the five-tailed King Mu with a complete form of Susanoo, took out the sealing container, and sealed the five-tailed King Mu in it. Kamui condensed the flame of the ability of the flame fruit with both hands to heat the sealing container. At first, the sealing container was shaking violently, and then the shaking gradually became smaller and smaller, and finally it stopped. Kamui sensed that the five-tailed King Mu was not in danger of life and gave up. After changing his clothes, Kamui decided to leave the land of hot springs and head to the land of water to capture the three-tailed Isabu and the six-tailed rhino. The land of water is surrounded by the sea. Ordinary people can only go there by boat. Kamui can use the flying thunder god ray to teleport there, but Kamui only has a month. Wouldn't it be good to appreciate the natural scenery of the Naruto world? Kamui still chooses to take a boat at the port and enter the land of water by water, while Shenwei was on the boat admiring them all for eliminating the side effect of making users of dragon slaying magic sick in vehicles. He received a limited time event from them all. Limited time activities time. 1 month you will randomly enter a world as an ordinary person and return automatically after death. The mall will be closed during the event. No matter how much time has passed in the event world, you will return 10 seconds after leaving. You can bring back all the items in the event world. After you return, the event world will be closed, and you cannot enter. Shenwei didn't expect that the mall, which had been quiet for a long time, would suddenly have a limited time event today. Could it be because he praised it today? Shenwei thought about it for a long time, but couldn't figure it out. What kind of crazy thing was going on in the mall? So he focused on the limited time event. The rules of the limited time event are easy to understand. Shenwei will definitely participate. It's not a task, and there is no penalty for failure. Just treat it as a vacation. It doesn't matter if you are an ordinary person and can't use them all. It's not bad to experience the feeling of being an ordinary person occasionally. Besides, there is still a personal space to use. At worst, you can go to perform magic. You will definitely not starve to death. Moreover, no matter how long it takes in the event world, only 10 seconds will pass in the Naruto world, which is the most satisfying to Shenwei. Shenwei is really afraid that Naruto will run all over the place after he walks back and forth. It's a pity that I don't know which world I will randomly go to, otherwise I can prepare props in advance. If I die on the ground, it will be a waste of this event opportunity. Kamui thought everything through and did not choose to enter the event world, but decided to go to the land of water to capture the three-tailed Isabu and the six-tailed rhino first, then return to the land of fire to capture the nine-tailed, and finally enter the event world. In this way, he can go directly back to Konoha village, so as not to stay in the event world for too long and forget the mission. Kamui entered the land of water and found that, although a ninja village had been established here, there were still wars between families. Kamui's Kagura Hatsai and Flying Thunder God Zurei cooperated with each other to avoid waves of people. Kamui followed the guidance of the Naruto world map and found the three-tailed Isabu and the six-tailed rhino who were fighting. No ninja dared to approach the battlefield of these two behemoths. They waited outside the battlefield for the two-tailed beasts to finish fighting and leave. During this period, People's understanding of the tailed beasts was not the war weapons like the later Jinchuriki. Kamui walked forward and used a magic technique to calm the beasts. The three-tailed Isabu and the six-tailed rhino had Sharingan patterns in their eyes and stood still. Kamui took out a sealing container to seal them up. Just as Kamui was about to return to the land of fire to capture the nine-tailed, a ninja from the land of water appeared. "Boy, leave the container in your hand and I can spare your life," said the ninja from the water country. The ninja from the land of water thought that the other party was a child and that he was not very strong, but he was lucky enough to get a magical container that could seal the tailed beast, so he sealed the tailed beast. If he could get the container in the hands of this child, he could use the power of the tailed beast for himself, and then he could dominate the land of water. "Kid, stop dawdling and take out my things quickly," the ninja from the water country said anxiously. Kamui paid no heed to the ants that were shouting in front of him, collected the two sealed containers, and was about to use the flying thunder god technique to return to the fire kingdom when the water kingdom directly attacked Kamui. "Boy, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? Remember to pay more attention to your ears in your next life," the ninja from the water country said as he swung his sword at Kamui. The knife pierced through Kamui's elemental body. The ninja from the water country looked at Kamui in disbelief, repeating "impossible" over and over again. The ninjas from the land of water who were waiting for the tailed beasts to leave discovered that they had disappeared and came over to investigate. They happened to see the Kamui transforming into an element and avoiding a fatal blow. Some knowledgeable ninjas guessed that it was a bloodline limit. The tailed beast is in this kid's body. He is the one who sealed the tailed beast in a container. As long as we kill him, we can get the power of the tailed beast, the water country ninja who attacked Kamui just now said while running away and harming others without benefiting himself. The ninja from the water country was very smart. He knew he could not kill Kamui, but he had provoked a powerful enemy like Kamui. So he exposed the fact that Kamui had the tailed beast in his hand and pushed Kamui to the opposite side of everyone, creating chaos for his escape and getting rid of the enemy. Kamui. The eyes of everyone present were focused on Shenmue. They surrounded Shenmue with undisguised greed in their eyes. "Do you want to dance?" Shenmue said calmly. Kamui's calm words caused cold sweat to appear on the foreheads of many battle-hardened ninjas present. "Who are you trying to scare, little devil? Hand over the container that seals the tailed beast obediently, and I will spare your life. Don't think that I can't kill you just because I have a bloodline limit." Shenmue did not argue with them, but just took a step forward. The chaotic noise just now suddenly became silent. Shenmue took another step and cold sweat broke out on the forehead of everyone present. Some people were afraid and panicked and swallowed their saliva uncontrollably. Shenmue quickened his pace and rushed into the crowd, and the crowd immediately fell to the ground. Chapter 30 Black Dew. Kamui was in the crowd, his hands turned into flaming fists, attacking continuously. No one could be a match for him wherever he went. He broke through the encirclement of the water country ninjas and condensed the Flame Emperor. The huge fireball wiped out all the water country ninjas present from the world, leaving only a deep pit, proving that a battle had taken place here. Kamui stood at the edge of the pit and used the flying thunder god technique to return to the land of fire. Kamui opened the Naruto world map to find the whereabouts of the Ninetales. Kamui not only found the Ninetales on the map, but also found the Black Zetsu that he had been thinking about day and night. Kamui discovered that Black Zetsu was not too far away from him and was moving towards him, so Kamui decided to take this opportunity to seal Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu appeared in front of Kamui and said, "Uchiha Kamui, how far into the future can your eyes see?" Kamui's infinite Mangekyō Sharingan, because it is inlaid with infinite gems, has an inexhaustible eye power, so there is no need to worry about losing sight due to eye power consumption. However, the other party is the most cunning old man in the ninja world, so Kamui decided to follow his meaning and said, "Who are you? What is your purpose? How do you know that my eyesight has deteriorated?" Harry Ju thought that young people are still young after all, too immature. He said, "I'm the will of your ancestor Indra. I have observed you for a long time." Shenmue thought, this old scoundrel Black Zetsu doesn't have any other ways to deceive people except impersonating other people's will. I No, you have a lot of questions, and now I will tell you. I, Indra, am the ancestor of the Uchiha clan and the son of the Six Paths Sage. Now I'm just a wisp of remaining will. Black Zetsu said calmly, secretly looking at Kamui and thinking, young man, you must be shocked by me. The greater the shock you receive, the more you will believe me. Kamui pretended to be shocked and continued to act in coordination with Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu was very satisfied with Kamui's reaction and continued, I once had the problem of decreased vision. This was caused by the exhaustion of pupil power. All you need is the eyes of your closest relatives, such as brothers, fathers, and sons, to evolve the Mangekyō Sharingan into the eternal Mangekyō Sharingan. Not only can you restore your vision, but you can also have inexhaustible pupil power. Kamui cooperated with Black Zetsu, pretending to be depressed and said, I don't have any close brothers. Black Zetsu bewitched Kamui and said, Madara and Izuna are a pair of close brothers who have opened the Mangekyō Sharingan. All we need to do is evolve their eyes into the eternal Mangekyō Sharingan and then transplant them into your eye sockets. Kamui shook his head repeatedly and bluntly rejected Black Zetsu's idea. Black Zetsu continued to persuade Kamui and said, the eternal Mangekyō Sharingan is not the end of the Sharingan. Above it is a Samsara eye, which is the eye of the Six Paths Sage. With the power of the Six Paths Sage, you can let Madara and Izuna grow a pair of eternal Mangekyō Sharingan. That way, you won't go blind due to the exhaustion of your pupil power. Kamui pretended to struggle and asked Black Zetsu, why did you choose me? Wouldn't it be easier if it was Madara or Izuna now? Black Zetsu said bluntly, the strength of the two brothers Madara and Izuna is not as strong as you, and they are unable to bring out the power of the Samsara eye. Even if Madara is the reincarnation of Indra, it won't work. Kamui said, yes, even if Madara is. Black Zetsu stared at the Kamui in front of him with wide eyes, seeming to be smiling. How do you know that Madara is the reincarnation of Indra? Black Zetsu asked in surprise. Not only do I know that Madara is the reincarnation of Indra, I also know that Ashirama Senju is the reincarnation of Ashura. I also know that you are Kaguya Satsuki's third son. In order to remove the seal on Kaguya Satsuki, you plan to trick me into carrying out the infinite Tsukuyomi plan. Kamui said with an expression, as if he was going to show his hand, not pretend anymore. Black Zetsu didn't expect that he had no secrets in front of Kamui. Thinking that Kamui had been acting with him just now, he couldn't help but get angry and embarrassed. Heiju would never let Kamui, who knew everything, live, and instantly possessed Kamui's body, intending to control Kamui and complete the infinite Tsukuyomi plan. Kamui used Amaterasu on his own body, and black flames burned on Kamui, but because Kamui mastered the Fire Dragon Slayer magic, it could not cause any harm to Kamui. On the contrary, Black Zetsu was burned by Amaterasu and left Kamui's body rolling on the ground in pain. Kamui changed into new clothes, used Tsukuyomi on Black Zetsu, and took out the last sealing container, intending to seal Black Zetsu first to prevent it from escaping underground, and then use the eye technique Kamui to use a time-space vortex to strangle the sealing container and Black Zetsu together. The effect of Kamui's Tsukuyomi on Black Zetsu was not very significant. Black Zetsu soon woke up, and watching the spell in the sealed container spreading over his body, he decisively abandoned most of his body, leaving only a small part that was not contaminated by Amaterasu and the spell, and escaped underground. Black Zetsu escaped. Kamui quickly opened the Naruto world map and looked for Black Zetsu's location, but found nothing. Kamui was not frustrated, as it was within Kamui's expectation that Black Zetsu could escape. After all, he was an old bastard who had lived for thousands of years, so he always had some means to save his life. This time, most of Black Zetsu's body was destroyed, which was enough for Black Zetsu to recuperate for a while. When they meet next time, the cooling time of Katamatsukami will be up, and you will not be able to escape. Black Zetsu fled back to his lair, looked at his fist-sized body, cursed Kamui viciously, and at the same time, tried every means to study how to let Madara or Izuna complete the infinite Tsukuyomi plan. The mighty flying thunder god formation arrived in front of the nine-tailed Kurama, and summoned Susanoo without saying a word. It attached its physical power to the Fangshan Huaji, leaving an indelible mark. Susanoo held down the nine-tailed Kurama and trimmed its claws neatly to prevent it from piercing the fourth generation couple in the future. After being pinned down, the nine-tailed Kurama kept struggling, but Susanoo's big hands didn't shake at all, and he completed the trimming work steadily. Finally, he set up several limited illusions for the nine-tailed Kurama in case of future needs, took out the sealing container, and sealed it. At this point, Kamu's journey to the tailed beasts came to an end, and the nine-tailed beasts were all in Kamu's hands. Kamu put away the sealing container of the nine-tailed Kurama. Kamu opened the mall and participated in the mall's limited time activities. The event world is being extracted. Countless clips from anime, movies, and TV series that Shenwei was familiar with flashed across the translucent screen in front of Shenwei's eyes. The picture froze, and a space-time vortex sucked Shenwei in. In the space-time vortex, Shenwei felt that all his powers were sealed. Except for being able to use his personal space at will, Shenwei was now just an ordinary person. Shenwei's eyes lit up, and he found himself in the moving world. Shenwei was looking at everything around him when a little kid came up to him and said, "Hello, my name is Barry Allen." Chapter 31 The Flash. "Hello, my name is Barry Allen. Can we be friends?" A blonde and blue-eyed little boy said to Kamu. Shenwei nodded mechanically and sorted out the identity that the mall had arranged for him in the event world. Shenwei, 8 years old, is of Chinese descent and lives with his family in Midtown. His parents were shot dead a week ago. Shenwei was adopted by Midtown Police Detective Joe West and now lives in his home. Shenwei looked at Barry Allen in front of him with a strange expression, thinking that it would not be long before we would live under the same roof. "Hey, Shenwei, I made a new friend," Joe West said happily. When Joe West adopted Shenwei, Shenwei was always taciturn. Joe West was very worried that Shenwei would have psychological problems. Unexpectedly, Shenwei made new friends the next day, which made Joe West feel relieved. "Joe, you're finally here. If you hadn't come, I would have to move into Arkham," Shenwei said with a look of relief. "It's not that serious. You're just too closed. You should make more friends, and it will be fun after a while," said Joe West. What is Arkham?" Barry Allen asked, puzzled. "Gotham City has simple folk customs, and Arkham is home to many talented people. Gotham Town is a united and friendly big family, and Arkham is the cradle of geniuses," Shenwei explained. Joe West looked at Shenwei with a strange expression. As a detective, how could he not know the true meaning of Gotham City, Vice City, and Arkham Asylum? Joe West naturally would not explain these things that were detrimental to the child's physical and mental health. He stood aside and tried hard to hold back his laughter. Barry Allen believed what Kamu said and said that he would also enter Arkham to become a genius when he grew up. Joe West accidentally laughed out loud, and Barry Allen was attracted by his laughter and asked in confusion, "What are you so happy about?" "My daughter got an A+ on the test today," Joe West said, covering up. Shenwei couldn't help but laugh, and Barry Allen asked again, "Did you get an A+ today too?" "It's not me, it's my sister who got an A+, Shenwei said, covering up. Barry Allen felt that the two people in front of him were very strange, but he did not ask any questions and let his father take them away. "Shenwei, it's not good to deceive new friends like this," Joe West taught him righteously. "Then why didn't you explain it to him just now?" Shenwei asked back. Joe West changed the subject and said, "Shenwei, your transfer procedures have been completed. From now on, you will be in the same class as my daughter." "Oh, I see," Shenwei responded. Shenwei returned to Joe West's house and met Iris West. Shenwei simply greeted her and went back to his room after dinner. Shenwei lay on the bed thinking about what he should do. Finally, he decided to study hard, join a cutting-edge technology research laboratory, participate in particle accelerator experiments, gain speed force in the particle accelerator explosion, and then continue to improve by stealing the skills of Reverse Flash Albert Swan to teach Barry Allen, and finally eliminate the villain Reverse Flash Albert Swan. After Shenwei had a target, he relaxed and fell asleep quickly. The next day, Shenwei went to school with Iris West. Shenwei was a new transfer student, so naturally he had to introduce himself in front of the whole class. Shenwei did not expect to see Barry Allen again in the class. Barry Allen kept waving at Shenmue, but Shenmue pretended not to see him and briefly introduced himself. Finally, with Shenmue looking like he had lost all hope in life, the teacher arranged Shenmue to sit next to Barry Allen as a deskmate. After class, a strong boy walked up to Shenmue and said, "New boy, do you know who has the final say in this class?" Barry Allen pulled Shenmue's clothes, signaling Shenmue not to conflict with this strong boy. "I don't know, and I don't want to know. Get out of my way, you're blocking my way," Shenmue said bluntly. Barry Allen saw that the two were about to clash, so he stepped out to smooth things over. The strong boy pushed Barry Allen away and said, "What's your business? You are born to take a beating." Kamui went over to help Barry Allen up and asked him if he was feeling unwell. Barry Allen said he was fine. The strong boy became even angrier when he saw that Kamui and Barry Allen ignored him and punched Kamui. Although Shenmue was banned, his original fighting consciousness was still there. Facing a child who only knew how to use brute force, Shenmue easily knocked him to the ground. The strong boy knew that he was no match for Shenmue and ran away in shame. Shenmue curiously asked Barry Allen, "What's the name of the boy who was knocked down just now? Does he often bully others?" "His name is Tony Woodward. He enjoys bullying his classmates, especially new students," Barry Allen said. Shenmue had an impression of this name, but he just couldn't remember it. He guessed that it should be a minor role related to the plot, so he put it out of his mind. Shenmue's student life officially began. He listened to the class carefully every day. When he encountered something he didn't understand, he would ask Barry Allen after class. This kid's mouth was always busy all day, but his grades were always among the best. Barry Allen also answered his questions very patiently. In this way, Shenmue's grades finally improved. 3 years passed, and Shenmue was 11 years old. As time went by, Shenmue accumulated more and more knowledge. Even if Shenmue was thrown into university, he would not find it difficult to study. On this day, Shenmue's deskmate Barry Allen did not come to school, and Shenmue had a bad feeling. When Shenmue returned home from school, Joe West told Shenmue that Barry Allen would also live at home in the future, and Shenmue understood the truth of the matter at that time. Albert Swan, the Reverse Flash, came back from the future and planned to kill the young Flash Barry Allen, but found that if he killed himself, he would be trapped in this time forever. To vent his anger, he killed Barry Allen's mother. After investigation, the police determined that Barry Allen's father was the murderer. The young Barry Allen told the police everything he saw. Everything Barry Allen said was too unbelievable, and the police did not believe it at all. In the end, Barry Allen's father was imprisoned in Iron Mountain Prison. Shenmue guessed that the current Reverse Flash Albert Swan may have impersonated Dr. Harrison Wells and used his advantage of coming from the future to plan the explosion of the particle accelerator step by step to create the Flash. He did not pay special attention to everything before Barry Allen became the Flash. As long as Shenmue was not suspected by the Reverse Flash Albert Swan during this period, Shenmue could obtain the speed force through the explosion of the particle accelerator and learn from the cutting-edge technology research laboratory. Chapter 32 Particle Accelerator Explosion. The Mighty introduces Joe West's home to Barry Allen, and for a long time in the future, the Mighty and Barry Allen will live under the same roof. The misfortune at home made the talkative Barry Allen become taciturn. Shenmue also did not intend to take over the psychological counseling work, because there was a better candidate for this job, Iris West. The two had a crush on each other since they were young, and even got married when they grew up, but the process was a bit tortuous. Shenmue decided to help them avoid some detours in their relationship. With the help of Iris West, Barry Allen gradually got out of the shadow of his family's misfortune. After Barry Allen learned that Shenmue had the same experience as himself, he completely integrated into this family. Shenmue continues to learn all the knowledge he can get in order to prepare for joining a cutting-edge technology research laboratory in the future. Barry Allen is determined to join the Midtown Police Department to clear his father's name. Iris West chooses to work in the news industry in the future to help Barry Allen dig out the truth. The three are working hard towards their respective goals. Reverse Flash Albert Swan. Oh, now he should be called Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. He has just emerged in the field of physics. He uses the foresight from the future to consolidate his position in the field of physics bit by bit. His award ceremony can be seen on TV today. Reverse flash. Dr. Harrison Wells was dressed in a well-fitting suit with a friendly smile on his face. He gave his acceptance speech to the public in a humorous yet solemn manner. If Barry Allen, the academic genius, had not had the tragedy in his family, his dream would definitely be to become a scientist when he grows up. Although he chooses to join the Midtown Police Department in order to clear his father's name, it does not mean that he has given up his attention to scientific progress. Barry Allen looked at the reverse flash Dr. Harrison Wells on TV with a bit of admiration in his eyes, and later paid more attention to the papers published by Dr. Harrison Wells in academic journals. Shenhui is not interested in the achievements of Dr. Harrison Wells, the reverse flash on TV, but is very interested in what he said at the end of his acceptance speech about setting up a cutting-edge technology research laboratory. There are still 14 years from now to the explosion of the particle accelerator. This is mentioned in Barry Allen's self-narration at the beginning of the original work. As long as he enters the cutting-edge technology research laboratory before the particle accelerator experiment, he can learn better. 14 years passed quickly. The 25-year-old Kamui perfectly inherited the Uchiha clan's fine tradition of producing handsome men. He grew up to be tall and handsome. At the same time, he entered the cutting-edge technology research laboratory as he wished and participated in particle accelerator experiments. Barry Allen also entered the Midtown Police Department as he wished, becoming a forensic assistant and working with Detective Joe West. Although he was late for every mission, he was really good at his job. Today, reverse flash Dr. Harrison Wells gathered everyone in the cutting-edge technology research laboratory to prepare for the start of the particle accelerator experiment. Everyone was enthusiastic and everyone performed their duties under the orderly arrangement of Dr. Harrison Wells. Reverse flash. Reverse flash Dr. Harrison Wells announced in various journals that he would start particle accelerator experiments and held a press conference in the evening, intending to officially start the particle accelerator at the press conference. Barry Allen, who has always been paying attention to reverse flash Dr. Harrison Wells, naturally would not miss the press conference on the particle accelerator experiment. Moreover, his friend, Kamui, who grew up with him, works in a cutting-edge technology research laboratory, so Barry Allen has a keen interest in this press conference. He brought Iris West with him to attend the press conference. At the evening press conference, Dr. Harrison Wells, the reverse flash, walked up to the podium amid the cheers of the crowd and said, "Thank you, my name is Harrison Wells. Tonight, the future is about to begin. My team and I will be here to change everyone's understanding of physics. We will bring about advances in dynamics and medicine. Believe me, the future will come faster than you think." A thief stole Iris West's bag, and Barry Allen chased the thief out of the press conference. Barry Allen tried to persuade the thief in the alley and was beaten by the thief. Finally, the thief was caught by the newcomer Eddie Swan and taken back to the police station. Barry Allen returned to his office, turned on his computer, and watched the live broadcast of the particle accelerator experiment. He turned around and pulled open the evidence board, revealing the news report of his father's arrest and the information he had collected over the years. There were thunder and lightning outside the window and heavy rain. The live broadcast report on the computer attracted Barry Allen. The live broadcast report said, "Wait, we were told to evacuate the equipment. The storm may have caused the main cooling system to fail. The staff are trying to shut down the particle accelerator, but so far, they have been unable to recontrol the system." The computer screen went black at this point. Barry Allen tried to call Kamui, but the call was not connected. Then he saw the particle accelerator outside the window in the direction of the cutting-edge technology research laboratory explode, and an energy storm swept in. Just as Barry Allen was pulling the chain and preparing to go to the cutting-edge technology research laboratory to find Kamui, after closing the skylight, Kamui appeared in his office with his hands on the chain. Before Barry Allen could ask why Kamui was here, a bolt of lightning struck from the sky, and Barry Allen was struck flying. Kamui was also struck by lightning, but he was not struck flying. Instead, the power of the lightning communicated with the chakra sealed in his body, and the two powers were merging together. Kamui's chakra attribute changed from a single fire attribute to a dual attribute of fire and thunder. Kamui quickly called for help and sent Barry Allen, who was struck by lightning, to the hospital. Iris West also came to the hospital to visit him, but she was stopped by Camis and waited outside for news that Barry Allen was out of danger after a long time. The doctor said that the patient was no longer in danger of death, but was still in a coma, and it was unknown when he would wake up. Shenhui knew that, if nothing unexpected happened, it would be 9 months later. Kamui and Iris West visited the unconscious Barry Allen. Kamui stayed for a while, before returning to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. On the way back to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, Shenhui thought of various reasons, because in the original plan, he should be lying on the hospital bed side by side with Barry Allen, and after waking up, the amnesia would be solved, instead of trying so hard to find reasons to deceive Dr. Harrison Wells. The Reverse Flash. Chapter 33. Shenhui returned to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, where most of the area had become ruins. As soon as Shenhui came back, he joined the rescue team. After sending the ambulance away, Shenhui met the Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, who was sitting in a wheelchair at this time. There was reluctance and loss on his face, but no regrets. Drive. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells casually asked, "Where did you go just now?" Shenhui answered truthfully, "My friend Barry Allen was struck by lightning. I was just in the hospital. I returned to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory after he was out of danger." Kamui said this on purpose. If there is anyone who least wants Barry Allen to get into trouble, besides Kamui, Iris West and Joe West, it would be Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash. Barry Allen is his only hope to return to his own time point as expected. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, was attracted by Barry Allen's news, and did not delve into the reason why the God of War left the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. This is just like the time travelers looking down on the natives. The time travelers rely on their foresight and arrogantly believe that the natives can't pose a threat to them anyway, so they look down on the natives. The God of War used this to get away with it. In fact, as long as Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, checked the time dome, he would know what the God of War did during that time, but he didn't. In the following period of time, the media criticized the Advanced Technology Research Laboratory, and its reputation plummeted. Many researchers resigned due to the pressure. The Advanced Technology Research Laboratory was designated as a Level 4 hazardous area by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and has never been operated since then. Only Shenhui, Dr. Harrison Wells, Cisco Raymond, and Caitlin Snow were left in the huge Advanced Technology Research Laboratory. On this day, the Advanced Technology Research Laboratory welcomed the fifth person, Barry Allen, who was brought in from the hospital and was still in a coma, because the hospital's electrocardiogram showed that the patient's heart had stopped beating several times. When the Advanced Technology Research Laboratory expressed its willingness to take over the patient, he happily agreed. Barry Allen's body is connected to various instruments, and the data from the instruments are summarized on the computer and observed and analyzed by Shenhui, Cisco Raman and Caitlin Snow. 9 months later, Barry Allen woke up to his favorite music. Although Shenhui had known that Barry Allen would wake up, he was still excited when he really woke up and took the initiative to talk to Barry Allen. Cisco Raman immediately notified the Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells when he saw Barry Allen wake up. He soon appeared in front of Barry Allen in a wheelchair, and he and Barry Allen talked while walking. As soon as Barry Allen heard Iris West's name, he hurriedly said goodbye and left the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory to meet Iris West. After Barry Allen met Iris West in the coffee shop, the two went to the Midtown police station to meet Joe West. His colleagues at the Midtown police station joked enthusiastically with Barry Allen. Joe West received the mission and set off. Barry Allen saw a criminal reaching out for the police gun, and he subconsciously tried to stop him. He stopped the criminal's behavior at a speed invisible to the naked eye. When he returned to his original place, he also felt something strange about himself. He hurriedly said goodbye to Iris West and went to the alley behind the police station to experiment. He found that he had super fast speed, and he told the people in the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory the news. The group brought instruments to an abandoned airstrip to verify Barry Allen's super speed. Reverse Flash. Dr. Harrison Wells was responsible for monitoring Barry Allen's energy output. Caitlin Snow was responsible for monitoring Barry Allen's vital organs, and Kamui and Cisco Ramon were responsible for manufacturing equipment. Barry Allen put his feet on the running blocks. A yellow lightning flashed in his eyes, and he rushed out like an arrow. The airflow generated by the sonic boom knocked Cisco Ramon over. He was now fully focused on Barry Allen's super speed, and didn't care at all that he was still sitting on the ground. Shenwei secretly glanced at Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, and found that he had a cold smile on his face. Blue lightning flashed in Shenwei's eyes, and he lowered his head to continue working on his work. Barry Allen was distracted, and broke his hand, but miraculously recovered on its own in a very short time. This made Caitlin Snow, a bioengineering genius, say it was impossible. When Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, asked Barry Allen why he was distracted during the test, Barry Allen told him about the changes at home. Kamui secretly watched Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, and couldn't help cursing. Barry Allen left the cutting-edge technology research laboratory and went to find Iris West, only to find that she was with Eddie Swan. Iris West asked Barry Allen not to tell anyone on the way, and Barry Allen responded absent-mindedly. At this time, an out-of-control police car drove towards them, and Barry Allen threw Iris West to the ground and escaped. Barry Allen saw that the police were chasing Madden, and used his super speed to stop the other party, but he didn't expect that the other party also had superpowers. The road was instantly filled with thick fog, and Madden also disappeared in the thick fog. Joe West came and taught them a lesson. Barry Allen said that the accident and the bank robbery were all done by Madden, and that Madden could control the weather. Joe West didn't believe it, so the two had a big fight and left unhappily. After Barry Allen left, Eddie Swan took out the portrait of the criminal dictated by the witness, and Joe West felt that he seemed to be wrong. I'm not the only one affected by the particle accelerator explosion, am I? Barry Allen said excitedly. Barry, calm down. Shenwei stepped forward and persuaded. Reverse Flash. Dr. Harrison Wells answered Barry Allen's questions pertinently. Barry Allen continued to ask questions, and Reverse Flash. Dr. Harrison Wells told Barry Allen the impact of the particle accelerator explosion. Barry Allen's sense of justice drove him to stop it all. If everyone present had to say who most wanted Barry Allen to become the Flash, it would have to be Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash. At this moment, he righteously advised Barry Allen not to be a hero. Barry Allen was speechless after hearing his remarks, and turned away to stop Madden, the superpowered man, by himself. Shenwei secretly admired the reverse operation of Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash. With Shenwei's understanding of Barry Allen, Shenwei was sure that the appearance of the Flash was not far away. Chapter 34 Responsibilities. After leaving the cutting-edge technology research laboratory, Barry Allen ran all the way to Star City, which was more than 600 miles away. Barry Allen met the Green Arrow, the guardian of Star City, and told him about his confusion. With the help of the Green Arrow, Barry Allen's confusion disappeared. He regained his confidence and was determined to stop those superpower criminals. Barry Allen returned to Midtown and asked for help from the mighty Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow at the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. The mighty and the other two readily agreed. Cisco Ramon took out the uniform prepared for the firefighters, which later became Barry Allen's battle suit. The mighty interrupted Cisco Ramon's boasting about the suit and said he had found Madden's location with a tablet. After Barry Allen got Madden's location, he put on the suit and set off. The mighty Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow provided remote assistance to Barry Allen in a cutting-edge technology research laboratory. Joe West and Eddie Swan found the farm where Madden was hiding. They entered the farm with guns and planned to capture Madden, but as ordinary people, they were no match for the superpowers and were blown away by the strong wind created by Madden. Madden's strong wind formed a tornado that broke through the roof of the farm. Joe West carried Eddie Swan away from the farm, and the broken roof fell straight down on Joe West. At the critical moment, Barry Allen pushed open the roof and saved Joe West. After Barry Allen rescued Joe West, he headed straight for the tornado created by Madden. Barry, this thing is getting closer and closer to you. The wind speed is as high as 200 miles per hour and is still getting stronger. Berry, do you hear it? Cisco Ramen said in the communicator. I heard it, loud and clear. Barry Allen replied, if the wind speed continues to increase, it will form an F5 tornado, said Cisco Raymond. It's moving towards the city. How do I stop it? Guys. Barry Allen asked for help. You can disassemble it and run around it in the opposite direction. You only need to reach a speed of 700 miles per hour to do this. Shenwei said, his body may not be able to withstand such a high speed and he will die. Caitlin Snow objected. I have to try. Barry Allen agreed with Kamui. Barry Allen ran around the tornado against the wind, but was hit by a lightning bolt from Madden and flew out. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, appeared at some point, first whitewashed himself to Barry Allen, then encouraged him to believe in himself, and finally Barry Allen really dispersed the tornado. After the tornado dissipated, Madden wanted to shoot Barry Allen, but was knocked to the ground by Joe West with 2 shots. After Barry Allen talked with Joe West, the misunderstanding between the two was resolved. Late at night, Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells opened a door in the wall while sitting in a wheelchair. After he went in, the door slowly closed again. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells took off all his disguises, stood up, walked to a computer, turned on the computer, and the computer showed a report of the Flash's disappearance on April 2024. 4. Shenwei built a treadmill for himself and Barry Allen, which can make full use of their super speed. Shenwei ran on the treadmill as much as he could, and the blue lightning became more and more as Shenwei ran faster. Shenwei suddenly felt dizzy and hurriedly got off the treadmill. Shenwei knew that this was caused by low blood sugar. He did not have in-depth research in bioengineering and could not solve the problem once and for all. He could only wait until Barry Allen encountered the same situation and then solve it. Barry Allen defeated Denton Black, who could clone himself, and gained Joe West's support for his choice to become a hero. He then defeated Nabis, who could turn into gas, and imprisoned him in a prison, converted from a particle accelerator. These people don't need the guidance of Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, so Kamui can only secretly figure out how to use the Speed Force on his own. Barry Allen is in love with Felicity Smoke, the future wife of Green Arrow Oliver Queen. Kamui knows that this relationship will not last long, but he can't stop it, and can only let nature take its course. Shenwei was bored and checked the research results of the cutting-edge technology research laboratory with Cisco Ramen. Cisco Ramen found that the weapon he made, the freezing gun, was missing. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, was furious about this. It was unknown whether it was because the freezing gun was lost and hurt others, or because the freezing gun could restrain the speedster. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, ordered Cisco Ramen to find the location of the freezing gun immediately. Shenwei knows about the freezing gun, which is a technological weapon that can fire freezing rays and has a great restraining effect on speedsters. If nothing unexpected happens, it should have fallen into the hands of Leonardo Snart, a highly intelligent criminal, and will cause great trouble to the Flash Barry Allen in the future. Barry Allen met Leonard Snart, who was holding a freezing gun, and was hit by it. His wound did not heal at an extremely fast speed. Cisco Ramen then stood up and said that he made the freezing gun to restrain speedsters like Barry Allen. Barry Allen felt betrayed by his friend and had a big quarrel with Cisco Ramen. The two parted unhappily, and Camus chased after him to persuade Barry Allen. Cisco Ramen found a way to locate the freezing gun. He worked with Felicity Smoke and the two quickly found Leonardo Snart's location. Barry Allen changed into his battlesuit to stop him from doing evil, but Leonardo Snart destroyed the train and escaped. Barry Allen used his super speed to save the people on the train. When he was exhausted, Leonardo Snart's freezing gun hit him. Fortunately, Cisco Ramen tricked Leonardo Snart away and saved Barry Allen. Because of this incident, the two reconciled. Kamui has now reached a bottleneck in his exploration of the Speed Force. In the main storyline, his mentor, Dr. Harrison Wells, who is a Reverse Flash, has not yet played a role, and he cannot go to him directly for advice. So Kamui finds another way and uses the Speed Force using the Chidori method from Naruto. Based on the original Chidori, which requires condensing lightning chakra in the hands, Kamui added the method of the super speed hand knife that Dr. Harrison Wells, a reverse flash, uses to kill people. After combining these two techniques, the penetration power of Chidori is greatly increased. Kamui wants to continue to develop a fighting style that combines the Chidori style with the speed force, but he is now in trouble. Let me introduce myself. My name is Clifford Devo, and you can also call me the Thinker, said a middle-aged man sitting in a magnetic levitation wheelchair. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Daily Life. Let me introduce myself. My name is Clifford Devo, and you can also call me the Thinker, said a middle-aged man sitting in a magnetic levitation wheelchair. Shenwei knows the Thinker Clifford Devo, who is the final boss of The Flash Season 4. He used the explosion of a particle accelerator to successfully create a thinking cap, which allowed his thinking ability to have a qualitative leap. However, his body could not bear this smart brain and he suffered from muscle atrophy, so he was now sitting in a magnetic levitation wheelchair to meet Shenwei. What do you want from me? Shenwei asked directly. I know you want to defeat Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. We can work together, Thinker Clifford Devo said with a confident look. How did you know? Shenwei looked at the Thinker Clifford Devo vigilantly and said, not only do I know that you want to defeat Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, I also know that you have obtained the Speed Force. Thinker Clifford Devo said calmly. Shenwei didn't expect that his biggest secret was discovered by the Thinker Clifford Devo, but seeing that he came to him, he must have other requests. Shenwei asked, what do you want me to do? I need you to use the Speed Force to open the Speed Force space at the designated location. Thinker Clifford Devo said. Kamui knew that the Thinker Clifford Devo wanted to use Kamui to create a bus full of superpowered people, and then he could absorb their superpowers one by one, so as to get rid of this atrophied body and prepare for the subsequent enlightenment, Night of Enlightenment. However, Kamui still agreed to him, because nothing was more important than defeating Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. What should I do? Shenwei asked. You can't use the Speed Force to open the Speed Force space now. I can help you master the Speed Force as soon as possible, Thinker Clifford Devo said. In this way, whenever Shenwei has time, he will go to Thinker Clifford Devo to develop the Speed Force, and Shenwei's mastery of the Speed Force is becoming more and more proficient. The Flash Barry Allen now meets Betty Sansao, a woman who can turn anything she touches into a bomb. She is a superpowered person that General Wade Allen of the military is willing to send troops to get. Betty Sansao has just blown up the Flash Barry Allen suit. If the Flash Barry Allen hadn't been wearing shorts, he might have to run back to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory naked. Joe West came to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, greeted everyone, then called out Barry Allen and Mighty, and asked them to hide the existence of the Flash from Iris West. Mighty made some assurances and slipped away, leaving Barry Allen behind to solve the problem. In the evening, the Flash Barry Allen brought Betty Sansao to a Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. Kamui, Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow checked and recorded various data of her body. Caitlin Snow found the tracker left on her by General Wade Allen. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells remained calm and asked Barry Allen and others to transfer Betty Sansao while he stayed to deal with General Wade Allen. Kamui, Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow were testing and recording Betty Sansao's ability data in the suburbs. Barry Allen had a heart-to-heart talk with Betty Sansao until the Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells coaxed General Wade Allen away, and then they returned to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory the next day. Betty Sansao hopes to eliminate her superpowers, but Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells tells her that it is impossible with the current level of technology. Betty Sansao is very disappointed and goes to be alone. Late at night, Dr. Harrison Wells found Betty Sansao and instigated her to eliminate General Wade Allen's group, but Betty Sansao was fooled away by him. After dawn, Barry Allen couldn't find Betty Sansao, and after asking everyone he didn't get a clear answer. so he used satellites to search for Betty Sansu. Betty Sansu made an appointment with General Wade Allen. She now followed the instigation of Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells to kill General Wade Allen and his army. Just when she was about to succeed, Flash Barry Allen stopped her. General Wade Allen, who was lucky enough to survive, shot Betty Sansu to death. Flash Barry Allen felt very guilty. At the last moment, Betty Sansu wanted to tell Flash Barry Allen to be careful of Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, but she died before she could finish her words. After Betty Sansu's death, her body began to glow, just like anything she touched. The Flash Barry Allen now needs to move Betty Sansu's body away from the city, and he learns to run on water at super speed. On this day, Shenwei was sorting out data in the laboratory when the Flash Barry Allen stumbled in and fell to the ground. Shenwei carried him to the bed and treated his injuries. You have 13 fractures on your hands, a concussion, 3 broken ribs, and a damaged spleen. Even if you have superpowers, it will take you several hours to recover. Did you hit Azali? Shenwei asked curiously. I ran into a guy whose skin could turn into metal, Barry Allen explained. Then, you should be glad he didn't break your teeth, because they can't grow back, said Cisco Ramon. Interesting, Man of Steel, said Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. We'll talk about your solo actions later. First, tell me, do you still remember what he looks like? Shenwei asked. It's strange. I feel like I know him before. Barry Allen said puzzledly. What do you mean? Caitlin Snow asked. What he said sounded familiar. Barry Allen replied. What did he say? Shenwei asked. It seems like you were born to be beaten. Barry Allen imitated the tone. This sentence also sounds familiar to me. Shenwei expressed his thoughts. If we don't stop him, he will hurt more people. How can I deal with an Iron Man? Barry Allen said worriedly. We will find a way. Just take good care of your injuries tonight. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells comforted. I remember it. Barry, do you still remember the boy I beat up on my first day of school? Shenwei asked Barry Allen. Everyone in the lab focused their attention on Shenwei. Cisco Raymond joked. I didn't expect that, Shenwei. You could fight when you were a kid. Shenwei clenched his fist and threatened. Cisco, do you want to try it too? Cisco Raymond stopped talking instantly. I remember now. His name is Tony Woodward, the school bully who always bullied me. Barry Allen said affirmatively. Chapter 36 Loss of Speed. Shenwei quickly pulled up Tony Woodward's personal information on the computer. When Barry Allen saw the photo, he immediately recognized him as the Iron Man. Shenwei told Barry Allen to rest and recover, and said that they would find a way to defeat Iron Man. The next day, Barry Allen recovered from his injuries, and talked with Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow about how he was bullied as a child. Shenwei couldn't get a word in, and tried to reduce his presence as much as possible. After all, he was the only one in the laboratory who was not bullied as a child. Cisco Ramon took out a robot named Steel Beam and gave Barry Allen special training. It was supposed to improve his fighting skills, but it ended up increasing Barry Allen's ability to withstand blows. Eddie Swan called Barry Allen and said that he had found new clues. Barry Allen got up and left to reunite with Eddie Swan. Joe West came to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory to find Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, hoping that he could help with the case of Barry Allen's mother. Joe West, based on his intuition gained from years of being a detective, locked the suspicion on Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, but Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells used his eloquence to get rid of the suspicion. Barry Allen and Eddie Swan found the factory where Iron Man Tony Woodward worked. They learned from a worker how Tony Woodward acquired his superpowers and took the worker back to the police station for questioning. Iris West met Iron Man Tony Woodward in a coffee shop. After an unpleasant conversation, Tony Woodward turned and left. Iron Man Tony Woodward. Iris West contacted the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, hoping to get help from the Flash. Barry Allen saw that Iris West's email had arrived as promised, and their conversation ended after the police arrived. Flash Barry Allen learned from his conversation with Iris West that Iron Man Tony Woodward's hiding place is west of Keystone City, and he is now running on the road. The Flash Barry Allen arrived at the west side of Keystone City and walked into an abandoned factory. He was ambushed by Iron Man Tony Woodward and crushed under the iron frame. Fortunately, Kamui and Cisco Ramon appeared and rescued him. The three returned to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, and Barry Allen was scolded by Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. After that, he said that there was a way to defeat Iron Man Tony Woodward. Cisco Ramon gave the answer, and Caitlin Snow said that this was impossible. Barry Allen was now very confused. Shenwei recently encountered difficulties when developing the Speed Force with Thinker Clifford Devo. Shenwei had the memory of his previous life as a basis, and after the conclusion drawn by Thinker Clifford Devo's brain, Shenwei failed to open the Speed Force space in the final practical application. The two ended this meeting and went back to find a solution. Joe West asked Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells to go to the bar and once again put the suspicion on him. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells told him the name of his deceased wife and asked Joe West to investigate based on the name. Joe West was dealt with again. When Barry Allen was practicing fighting with Eddie Swan in the police station, he suddenly received the news that Iris West was missing. He was extremely anxious at the moment and called the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory immediately. Based on the plot and big data analysis, Shenwei provided information about Iris West in the elementary school they used to attend. The Flash Barry Allen arrived before Iron Man Tony Woodward was about to attack Iris West and used his speed advantage to deal with Iron Man Tony Woodward. He was accidentally knocked to the ground by Iron Man Tony Woodward. The Flash Barry Allen remembered Cisco Ramon's method and finally successfully defeated Iron Man Tony Woodward with the supersonic punch, named by Cisco Ramon, and locked him up in a superpower prison. Barry Allen took off his mask and gave Iron Man Tony Woodward a lecture in the superpower prison. Shenwei also joined in the fun and told Iron Man Tony Woodward that he was the one who transformed the superpower prison. Joe West brought a bottle of good wine to Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells and apologized to him for bringing up his sad story. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells squeezed out a few tears and generously forgave Joe West, thus getting rid of suspicion again. That night, his true identity was revealed. He showed up at Joe West's house wearing the Reverse Flash suit, took away Joe West's existing information, and before leaving, he stuck Iris West's photo into the wall with a knife. Today, after Barry Allen bought coffee, he was kidnapped. He was very excited. Yes, very excited. He didn't expect that there would be thousands of people in Midtown who could accurately kidnap the Flash. His excitement made the robbers helpless, as the saying goes. Too much joy turns to sorrow. When he was trying to stop a superpowered person at night, his speed force was sucked away by the other party, and he lost his super speed. The people in the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory were worried about this. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, even secretly went to the Time Dome to search for the Flash's information, but found that history had changed, which made him angry and embarrassed. At this time, the alarm of the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory sounded. Shenwei turned on the surveillance footage and found that Algebran, the superpowered person who could absorb energy, came to the door and asked to see Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells by name. For a moment, everyone was at a loss after Algebran, who was absorbing energy, did not receive any response. He began to absorb the power supply of the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. After the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory and even the entire Midtown were completely out of power, William Tuckerman, a prisoner who was about to be transferred in the Midtown police station, took the opportunity to take several hostages, including Joe West and Iris West. After absorbing a large amount of energy, Algebran entered the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory. Barry Allen couldn't contact Joe West, so he called Captain Singer of the police station to ask about Joe West's situation. Captain Singer told him that Joe West and Iris West were held hostage by William Tuckerman. Barry Allen couldn't wait to restore his superpowers. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells gave him an electric shock therapy. Although it was very dangerous, Barry Allen didn't have time to think about it. He just wanted to restore his superpowers as soon as possible and rescue Joe West and Iris West. Chapter 37 Growth. While Kamui and Cisco Ramon were preparing for electroshock therapy, Barry Allen went to talk to Algebran, who was absorbing energy. Hoping that everyone could sit down and resolve the problem peacefully. William Tuckerman in the Midtown police station was negotiating terms with Captain Singh and shot and wounded Eddie Swan, who was attacking. At the pleading of Joe West and Iris West, William Tuckerman performed battlefield first aid on Eddie Swan and then pulled Iris West out, intending to make an example of her and make Captain Singh outside agree to his terms. However, a gunshot was heard, and Joe West burst into tears at the cutting-edge technology research laboratory. Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy, knocked Barry Allen away. Cisco Ramon took advantage of the trap to isolate Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells insisted that everyone help Barry Allen restore his speed and separated himself from everyone. After Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells left, he came to the superpower prison and released Iron Man Tony Woodward, using his freedom in exchange for the hope that he could stop Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy. Barry Allen started the electroshock therapy. He stepped onto a modified treadmill and a strong electric current flowed through his body. He didn't last long before being electrocuted and flew out. At this point the electroshock therapy had been successful, but because of Barry Allen's psychological problems, he had not yet gained super speed point. Although Shenwei didn't like his classmate Iron Man Tony Woodward very much, he would not watch him die. He picked up the freezing gun 2.0 version and shot at Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy. Although he didn't defeat him, he at least saved his old classmate Iron Man Tony Woodward. With Godspeed and Iron Man Tony Woodward delaying time, Barry Allen still couldn't regain his super speed due to psychological problems, so everyone had to abandon the cutting-edge technology research laboratory and leave by car. Shenwei and Iron Man Tony Woodward fought and retreated and reunited with everyone. Faralkja Brown, who absorbed energy, chased them relentlessly and finally blocked everyone in the parking lot. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells stood in front of everyone and persuaded Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy, to let go of others and take all the blame on himself. Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy, blasted a beam of energy at Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, who was knocked to the ground by the energy. Just as he was about to give Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells a fatal blow, Barry Allen used his super speed to save Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells at the critical moment. Faralkja Brown, who absorbed energy, kept attacking Barry Allen with energy. Barry Allen was accidentally hit by the energy. Faralkja Brown, who absorbed energy, absorbed Barry Allen's speed force along with the energy of the attack. The speed force in Barry Allen's body was endless and knocked Faralkja Brown unconscious. Kamui took the opportunity to throw him into the superpower prison. Iron Man Tony Woodward, a classmate of Shenwei and Barry Allen, also got his wish and gained his freedom and is now saying goodbye to Shenwei. After dealing with Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy, Barry Allen rushed to the Midtown police station immediately. He was relieved to see that Joe West and Iris West were safe and sound. Late at night, Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells came to the superpower prison and drew a tube of blood from Faralkja Brown, who was absorbing energy, in order to study how to absorb energy, because he wanted to absorb the speed force of Flash Barry Allen and return to his own time. A robbery occurred at a bank in Midtown, and the Flash Barry Allen arrived at the scene as soon as possible to prevent the impending shooting and mass riot. After doing all this, he returned to the cutting-edge technology research laboratory and asked everyone to study how this superpowered person who can inspire anger in people does it. In the evening, an angry superpowered person appeared, and the Midtown Police Department was dispatched to arrest him. A police officer with a shotgun was provoked with anger and turned around to shoot at his own people. Fortunately, the Flash Barry Allen arrived in time to avoid casualties. When the police officer with the shotgun was about to fire the second shot, 2 arrows nailed him to the ground, and the Green Arrow appeared. The mask is nice. Green Arrow left after giving a compliment. It wasn't long before the entire Green Arrow team showed up in a cutting-edge technology research laboratory. Barry Allen introduced them one by one, and the two teams quickly became familiar with each other. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells called Barry Allen over alone. He and Joe West both disagreed with Barry Allen contacting the terrorist Oliver Queen. The Green Arrow point. The Green Arrow team was investigating a boomerang but found nothing, so they came to the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory for help, but they had no intention of interfering with the Flash team's affairs. The next day, under Felicity's persuasion, Green Arrow Oliver Queen agreed to help Flash Barry Allen and teach him how to use the battlefield environment. Poor Barry Allen was shot in the back by a crossbow arrow, and the teaching ended with Barry Allen's screams. With the help of the new feature of facial recognition, the Flash team successfully found the superpowered person who caused the anger. Barry Allen went to his hiding place alone, and was accidentally aroused by the other party's superpowers, causing his anger to rise in his heart. Although the superpowered person who caused the anger was imprisoned in the superpower prison, Barry Allen gradually lost control. Barry Allen lost control, and no one present could think of anyone who could stop him. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells then remembered Green Arrow Oliver Queen and said he needed his help. Green Arrow Oliver Queen lived up to expectations and used his wisdom to defeat the out-of-control Flash Barry Allen. Kamui drove a car pulling a prop that could wake up Barry Allen and activated the prop in front of Barry Allen, and he woke up. Green Arrow Oliver Queen revealed his identity in the Cutting Edge Technology Research Laboratory, and the two teams became closer. Originally, Mr. Brown wanted the Green Arrow team to stay for a few more days, but they refused on the grounds that Star City needed them. Christmas is coming, and Joe West's house is particularly lively. In addition to Barry Allen and Iris West, Eddie Swan and Camis, who finally had a vacation, are also there. Before dinner, Eddie Swan took Iris West out for a stroll, leaving Joe West, Barry Allen and Camis to decorate the room. When they really started to decorate, they found that Camis was missing. Chapter 38 Reverse Flash appears. The sneaking Kamui found the thinker Clifford DeVoe, and the two analyzed the use of the Speed Force together. The thinker Clifford DeVoe said, "Recently, Mercury Laboratory has a new scientific and technological achievement, which may be helpful for the analysis of the Speed Force." "You don't want me to steal?" Shenwei asked in surprise. "Do you still care about this?" Thinker Clifford DeVoe said calmly, "Okay, tell me the exact location." Shenwei said. Kamui changed into the costume from the Naruto world and sneaked into the Mercury Laboratory. At this moment, the alarm of the Mercury Laboratory sounded, and the Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells appeared and knocked down the guard. It seemed that he was also for the latest scientific achievement of Mercury Laboratory, the superluminal particles. Kamui did not want to confront the Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells so early, and waited until the alarm of Mercury Laboratory sounded before leaving quietly. "Where's the stuff?" asked Clifford DeVoe, the thinker. "Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells has appeared, and he also seems to be interested in tachyons," Shenwei said. "Since he is also interested in superluminal particles, he will definitely try to snatch it. Let's wait and see." Thinker Clifford DeVoe said, "I guess the Flash will try to stop him, but he will be beaten badly in the end." Shenwei said with glee. The two ended the meeting. When forensic Dr. Barry Allen questioned the surviving personnel of Mercury Laboratory, he got the clue of the murderer who killed his mother, Reverse Flash. He was very excited. Joe West told him Reverse Flash had appeared several weeks ago, but he didn't dare to say it, because he threatened Iris West's life. When Barry Allen was at a loss, he sought help from people in a cutting-edge technology research laboratory to discuss countermeasures. Drive. Harrison Wells in Reverse Flash said that the superluminal particles in Mercury Laboratory can exceed the speed of light as long as there is a stable model. Finally, Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells decided to set a trap for Reverse Flash around superluminal particles. Shenwei sighed inwardly. What a powerful trick of the thief crying "Stop thief." Thinking of this, Shenwei had the idea of tampering with the trap. Barry Allen fell asleep in the office of the police station and was woken up by Iris West. The two chatted for a few words, and then Iris West left. Barry Allen was looking at the scenery outside the window and suddenly he saw Reverse Flash on the roof of the opposite building, staring at him. Barry Allen immediately chased after him. Barry Allen and Reverse Flash chased each other to the gymnasium. Barry Allen was not as fast as Reverse Flash, so he was beaten up by Reverse Flash. Finally, Reverse Flash left after a few sarcastic words. Caitlin Snow and Cisco Raymond left the cutting-edge technology research laboratory, looking for Caitlin Snow's boyfriend Ronnie Raymond, and finally found him in the underground pipe, but Ronnie Raymond seemed not to recognize Caitlin Snow, and he transformed into a firestorm and left. Barry Allen told Joe West and Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells about the Reverse Flash, hoping they could give him some advice. The Midtown Police Department has already released the news that the superluminal particles are in a cutting-edge technology laboratory and is just waiting for Reverse Flash to deliver them. Reverse Flash lived up to everyone's expectations and stepped into the trap of supercapacitor. Midtown Police Department and Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells were talking to Reverse Flash in the trap. Cisco Raymond discovered that there was something wrong with the trap supercapacitor and notified everyone to evacuate quickly, but it was too late. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells had been caught in the trap by Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash beat up Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. Joe West couldn't stand it anymore and ordered Cisco Raymond to turn off the trap supercapacitor. Cisco Raymond hesitated and was physically destroyed by Joe West with a large wrench. Reverse Flash escaped. He took the touch iron and killed several police officers. Just when he was about to kill Joe West, the Flash Barry Allen appeared in time and took Reverse Flash away. The Flash Barry Allen was still no match for Reverse Flash and was beaten without any chance to fight back. Just when Reverse Flash was about to teach Barry Allen a lesson, Ronnie Raymond, who turned into Firestorm, appeared. He blasted Reverse Flash away with a blast of flame, and Reverse Flash left a few harsh words and ran away. In a cutting-edge technology laboratory, Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells was lying on a hospital bed receiving treatment. He accidentally asked about Ronnie Raymond, and Caitlin Snow and Cisco Raymond gave an explanation afterwards. Except for Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells, who needed to stay in a cutting-edge technology laboratory to recuperate. Everyone else went to Joe West's house to celebrate Christmas, and everyone was having a great time. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash who stayed in the cutting-edge technology laboratory, entered the Time Dome, installed the stolen superluminal particles on the Reverse Flash suit, and said to the suit, "Merry Christmas." After saying that, an evil smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. After Christmas, Barry Allen felt deeply weak and asked for special training. Cisco Raymond controlled a drone to attack Barry Allen, but the bullets on the drone were easily avoided. Cisco Raymond fired another missile, which knocked Barry Allen to the ground. After Barry Allen got up, he waited for the missile to be launched without dodging. His action scared everyone. Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, already had one foot on the ground, ready to rescue Barry Allen at any time. The missile was launched, and Barry Allen used his speed to forcibly change the direction of the missile, allowing it to accurately destroy the drone. After the drone was destroyed, the special training was temporarily over. The customs warehouse now welcomes two uninvited guests. Their purpose is not to steal the imported luxury cars in the warehouse, but to set a trap for the Flash Barry Allen. However, they failed to wait for the Flash Barry Allen and left before the police arrived. After returning to the base camp, they planned to steal the artwork of Ice and Fire. Based on the situation at the scene, forensic Dr. Barry Allen deduced that Captain Cold Leonard Snart was not only back, but also planned to set a trap for himself as the Flash. Joe West hoped that Barry Allen could team up with the Midtown Police Department as the Flash to deal with Captain Cold Leonard Snart, but was rejected by Barry Allen, who was indoctrinated by Reverse Flash Harrison Wells. Cisco Raymond promoted his bulletproof shield in the Midtown Police Department and experimented with the Freeze Gun 2.0 version. In the end, it was confirmed that the bulletproof shield can effectively resist the freeze gun, making a huge contribution to the capture of Captain Cold Leonard Snart. Chapter 39 Plan. As soon as the artwork of Ice and Fire landed from the plane, Captain Cold Leonardo Snart rushed out with a freezing gun to snatch it. The police holding bulletproof shields perfectly restrained the freezing gun. Seeing that the freezing gun had no effect, Captain Cold Leonardo Snart hurriedly called for his companion Heatwave Mick Rowley. Heatwave Mick Rowley held a flamethrower and fired at the police officers. They evacuated from here after Captain Cold Leonardo Snart's repeated calls the two men returned to their hiding place and first quarreled violently because of their incompatibility of personalities. Later, they worked closely together because they wanted Midtown to become their own backyard where they could take whatever they wanted. They also burned the stolen artworks Ice and Fire and planned to attack the Flash's companions. Barry Allen returned to the police station and saw many injured police officers. He blamed himself very much. Joe West said to him, "Next time Snart and his Perot companions show up again, make them apologize for going against you." After that, he went to call the hospital. Caitlin Snow left the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory and found the participants of Firestorm. She wanted to know about Firestorm. Caitlin Snow got the secret behind Firestorm and was about to drive back to the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory when she was kidnapped by Captain Cold Leonard Snart and Heatwave McRowley. The next day, the police found traces of Captain Cold Leonard Snart. Forensic Dr. Barry Allen went to the scene to investigate and learned that Caitlin Snow had been kidnapped. At this time, Captain Cold Leonard Snart's declaration of war to the Flash was being broadcast on TV. The Flash Barry Allen appeared on time and used his super speed to dodge the attacks of the freezing gun and the flamethrower, trying to make the light waves of the two guns cancel each other out. After repeated attempts, he realized that this did not require fast speed, but slowing down the speed. Finally, he succeeded in canceling the light waves of the two guns. Captain Cold Leonard Snart and Heatwave McRowley were also arrested by the police. While escorting Captain Cold Leonardo Snart and Heatwave McRowley, someone hijacked the prison van and rescued them. Captain Cold Leonardo Snart said to Heatwave McRowley calmly, "This is the plan." He said to the hijacker, "Hello, sister, Reverse Flash." Dr. Harrison Wells returned to his mansion. He took off his disguise, tasted fine wine, and answered a prank call. The glass on the roof was shattered. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells used his super speed to avoid the falling glass fragments and notified the police of the situation. Shenwei originally planned to find thinker Clifford DeVoe to study the Speed Force, but unexpectedly he met his old colleague Hartley Lathaway from the Advanced Technology Laboratory on the way. When they worked together at the beginning, Shenwei particularly hated his conceited look, but he was the one who remained sober before the glory of the success of the particle accelerator. He was the only one who saw that the particle accelerator would fail. "Hartley, long time no see," Shenwei said in a friendly manner. "Shenwei, you are still so hypocritical," Hartley Lathaway said with disgust. "You came to me all the way just to talk nonsense?" Shenwei said coldly. "Of course not. I came to you for the Flash," Hartley Lathaway said bluntly. "Use the hexagonal algorithm to track all the traces of the Flash, and it uses theoretical evacuation direction, right?" Shenwei revealed the secret. "That's great. You analyze the key to the problem with just a few words. But I have never understood why someone as smart as you would be willing to be an unknown person in a cutting-edge technology laboratory?" Hartley Lathaway asked puzzledly. "You want to know the answer? Do me a favor," Shenwei said, taking the initiative. "Well, I think the answer will surprise me," Hartley Lathaway said with a smile. The story begins with Reverse Flash killing Barry Allen's mother when he was a child and continues until the particle accelerator explosion. Hartley Lathaway was completely stunned after hearing this. It was obvious that the answer given by Shenwei was extremely shocking. "What do you need me to do? Help you defeat Reverse Flash?" Hartley Lathaway asked curiously. "I'll give you a molecular scan of Reverse Flash," Kamui said. "You want me to interfere with his actions through the sound waves?" Hartley Lathaway said incisively. "Is there a problem?" Shenwei asked. "No problem. It's a pleasure working with you," Hartley Lathaway said with a smile. "It's a pleasure working with you," Shenwei said with a smile. Barry Allen learned from Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells that the attack was done by Hartley Lathaway and wanted to capture him and put him in a superpower prison, but Hartley Lathaway disappeared after the attack. News came that a prisoner had escaped from Iron Mountain Prison, so Barry Allen put the matter of Hartley Lathaway aside. Barry Allen came to Iron Mountain Prison and the investigation showed that the person who escaped was named Clay Parker, and there were organic particle residues on the prison floor extending outside the prison point. When these organic particles were taken to a cutting-edge laboratory for testing, it was found that they contained the DNA of Belle Parker and another woman, Shauna Bates. Everyone focused their attention on this woman named Shauna Bates, and they were quite sure that she was a person with superpowers. Flash Barry Allen went out and started his daily routine of getting beaten up and came back dragging his injured body. Shenwei discovered that this was almost the curse of the Flash Barry Allen. The most interesting thing was that this guy never learned his lesson. Although he got beaten the first time, he was always able to defeat the superpowered person and put him in the superpower prison the second time. This time was no exception. After Reverse Flash, Dr. Harrison Wells analyzed that Shauna Bates' superpower was that she could only teleport to a place she could see. Flash Barry Allen easily put Shauna Bates in the superpower prison. People in the cutting edge technology laboratory have been very busy recently. Some are busy looking for people, and some are busy looking for clues. While everyone is busy, the unknown person Shenwei sneaks into the time dome and downloads the information of Dr. Harrison Wells. The reverse flashpoint. The whole process went very smoothly. At the end, after all traces in the computer were cleaned up, Shenwei gave the information to Hartley Lathaway. Hartley Lathaway is indeed a genius. He completed what Shenwei wanted in less than 10 minutes. After Shenwei put the things away, he said goodbye to Hartley Lathaway and went to meet the thinker Clifford Devo. Shenwei gave a copy of the information to the thinker Clifford Devo, hoping that he could get something useful based on the information. Chapter 40. The Truth. Ronnie Raymond, Shenwei's colleague, is now preparing to commit suicide in the suburbs because if he loses control, the entire Midtown will cease to exist. The Flash Barry Allen brought Caitlin Snow and the quantum connector to find Ronnie Raymond. Even though he put on the quantum connector, he still couldn't escape the fate of self-destruction. A mushroom cloud bloomed, and the returning Flash Barry Allen brought Caitlin Snow to find Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein in the pit and brought them back to the cutting-edge technology laboratory. At this time, the military discovered the energy fluctuations of the firestorm and reported it to General Wade Allen, who now only wanted to obtain the firestorm and apply it to the war. After enjoying a few days of good times, Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein were visited by General Wade Allen's men. Although the process was safe, they could no longer live with their relatives and friends. Cisco Ramon helped Joe West investigate the case of Barry Allen's mother. They found blood on the wall and after testing, they found that it was Barry Allen as an adult. It was a case that happened 14 years ago, but the blood of a person 14 years later appeared at the scene. This was unbelievable. Joe West told Barry Allen this fact. Just as they were about to ask Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells about it, the Mighty suddenly appeared and stopped them. Who else knows about this? Shenwei said in a deep voice. Only Dr. Wells can give the answer to this incredible question of Kamui. Barry Allen said as he tried to bypass Kamui. Joe West on the side noticed the abnormality of Shenwei and pulled the anxious Barry Allen. Listen to what Shenwei said. Joe West said, since you have discovered that the adult Barry Allen could appear 14 years ago, why didn't you think that Reverse Flash might come from the future? Kamui said as tactfully as possible. Reverse Flash came from the future to 14 years ago and wanted to kill the young Flash Barry Allen, but for some reason he couldn't kill him, so he had to kill his mother to vent his anger. Shenwei reasoned. Barry Allen followed Shenwei's thoughts at this moment and felt as if he had grasped something, but also felt as if he had not grasped it. In order for Reverse Flash to gain super speed, he must have experienced the same or similar things as Barry. Do you agree with this? Shenwei said affirmatively. Barry Allen and Joe West nodded in agreement. Then, in this era, whoever has the method to obtain super speed will be the Reverse Flash. Shenwei reasoned. Drive. Wells can't be Reverse Flash. Barry Allen obviously didn't believe what Kamui said. Let's get back to the topic just now. Why didn't Reverse Flash kill the young Flash? It's because he couldn't. If he killed the young Flash, he would most likely lose his super speed and be trapped in this time. When he killed Barry's mother, he had already changed history. His current speed can't allow him to go back to the future, so not only will he not kill the Flash now, but he will train him and let him step by step become what he was in history. because only in this way can he restore his super speed and return to the future. Kamui said to Barry Allen. After saying this, Shenwei took out the information in the time dome and handed it to Barry Allen. Barry Allen took the information and looked at it carefully. He wilted like an eggplant hit by frost. Joe West took the information, flipped through it, and confirmed its authenticity. Barry, what are your plans next? Shenwei asked. I'm going to ask Dr. Wells for clarification, Barry Allen said honestly. Upon hearing this, Shenwei slapped his head and had a new understanding of Barry Allen's honesty. At the same time, he was secretly glad that he asked such a question, since you already know the answer. Can't you catch him first? After catching him, you will have plenty of opportunities to ask him, Shenwei said with regret. We should pretend that we know nothing and proceed as usual. We should contact people who can defeat him privately. We can definitely defeat him if we join forces. Kamui comforted Barry Allen. If you can travel through time, remember not to change anything, Shenwei said solemnly. Kamui watched Barry Allen leave, thinking that plans could not keep up with the speed of change, and he had to speed up, because Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, would soon notice Barry Allen's abnormality. Barry Allen traveled through time when he was trying to stop that tsunami created by weather wizard Mark Madden. He did not listen to Kamui and changed the timeline. Although no one was hurt in the end, it did teach Barry Allen a lesson. When Barry Allen was trying to stop the magician James Chess, he was taught the skill of walking through walls by Dr. Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, and Kamisama successfully learned from him. Barry Allen also completely believed through the immersive description of the skill of walking through walls by Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells that he was a Reverse Flash, the murderer of his mother. On this day, Barry Allen gathered Mighty, Cisco Ramon, Caitlin Snow, and Joe West together, and Mighty told everyone that Reverse Flash was Dr. Harrison Wells. Caitlin Snow found it difficult to accept this fact. In contrast, Cisco Ramon quickly accepted this fact. He told everyone that he had been having the same dream recently. In the dream, Harrison Wells was Reverse Flash and killed him with super speed. If you don't believe it, you can find the answer in the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory. There is a secret place in the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory. It is called the Time Dome. It contains the answers to all the questions, Shenwei said in a deep voice. That night, the group entered the Time Dome. While Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells was away, they found Reverse Flash's battlesuit, the lost Tachyon, and reports from the future about the Flash's disappearance. Shenwei activated the interactive artificial intelligence Gideon. During the conversation between Shenwei and Gideon, everyone fell silent. After learning the truth of the matter after the power, Barry Allen learned from Gideon why Reverse Flash wanted to kill his mother, Reverse Flash's purpose, etc. The alarm in Cisco Ramon's hand alerts Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells to enter the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory building. Cisco Ramon thought he could control Gideon and hide all traces of their presence, but after seeing Gideon's interface, he gave up. Barry Allen finally got a shocking news from Gideon. That is, this artificial intelligence was created by Barry Allen. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells has entered the main control room, and everyone is faced with another problem. That is, Barry Allen cannot lead so many people alone. Chapter 41. Just when everyone was at a loss, Shenwei showed his super speed. Before everyone had time to marvel, Shenwei took Cisco Ramon and Caitlin Snow out of the Time Dome, followed by Barry Allen and Joe West. I should have thought of it earlier. Barry Allen held his head and said madly, "It's not too late for you to know now," Shenwei said with a smile. "Barry, go find Oliver Queen and Firestorm now, and ask them to help fight Reverse Flash together." Kamui said solemnly, "Sicko, you are responsible for upgrading our equipment and making a battle suit for me," Shenwei said as he handed over a blueprint. After giving his instructions, Kamui ran away like a gust of wind. Kamui found the thinker Clifford Devo and got many ideas about the speed force from him. He used the speed hand knife and Chidori to directly pierce the thinker Clifford Devo's heart. "It's time to wake up from the dream of enlightenment," Shenwei said calmly. The final battle began. Kamui put on the battle suit of his own design and came to the outside of the building of the Cutting Edge Technology Laboratory with the Flash, Green Arrow, and Firestorm. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells had anticipated this and appeared in front of them wearing the Reverse Flash battlesuit. Unfortunately, your story ends here. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells said calmly. Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells attacked Green Arrow Oliver Queen, but was stopped by Flash Barry Allen. The Speedy Chidori, which was formed by the fusion of Kamu's Speedy Hand Knife and Chidori, stabbed at Reverse Flash Dr. Harrison Wells. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells pulled Barry Allen between himself and Kamu, forcing Kamu's Speedy Chidori to change direction. In order not to hurt Barry Allen, Kamu had to give up this great opportunity and bypass Barry Allen to attack Reverse Flash Harrison Wells again. Harrison Wells was prepared and easily avoided Shenhui's attack. He also punched Shenhui quickly, causing him to lose balance and fall to the ground while spinning. Just when Reverse Flash Harrison Wells was about to kill Kamu, Barry Allen rushed up and stopped his next move. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells was too fast, and Barry Allen soon became a human sandbag and was pinned to the ground and beaten by Reverse Flash Harrison Wells. Kamu activated the Sonic Jammer made by Hartley Laugh away, and Reverse Flash Harrison Wells collapsed to the ground under the sonic attack. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells pressed something on his suit, and the sonic jammer didn't work on him. Shenhui, you have been pretending to be invisible. Even I was fooled by you. I'm curious, when did you doubt me? Reverse Flash Harrison Wells flashed in front of Shenhui and said, I suspected you from the very beginning. No, I should say I knew from the very beginning that you did all this. Shenhui replied, Shenhui, you are so smart. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells said as he used his super fast hand knife to stab Shenhui's heart. Just at this moment, two arrows flew over and shot at Reverse Flash Harrison Wells. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells dodged the arrow, but also gave up the chance to kill Kamu. Barry Allen and Kamu double teamed Harrison Wells from the left and right. The three of them were so fast that only yellow, blue, and red lightning were left on the scene. They intertwined with each other, making it difficult for Oliver Queen to shoot his arrows. Barry, Shenhui, come out quickly, Oliver Queen said anxiously, holding a bow and arrow point as Kamu and Barry Allen pulled away. Oliver Queen's arrow hit Reverse Flash Harrison Wells in the thigh. Firestorm moved forward to attack Reverse Flash Harrison Wells, but was blown away by the strong wind created by his quick swing of his hand. Barry Allen chases after Firestorm, who is blown away. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells pulled out Oliver Queen's arrow, felt the changes in his body, and looked at Oliver Queen. The nanorobots provided by Ray Palmer are releasing high frequency pulses, which are weakening your speed. You will not be able to run here for a while. Oliver Queen replied. The Shenhui at the scene seized the opportunity to attack Reverse Flash Harrison Wells crazily, picked up an iron rod on the side of the road, and broke Reverse Flash Harrison Wells' leg with one blow. At this moment, the nanorobots in Reverse Flash Harrison Wells' body have lost their function, but because Reverse Flash Harrison Wells' legs are broken, he can only surrender. Barry Allen, who saved Firestorm, rushed back and saw Reverse Flash Harrison Wells, who had lost the ability to resist. He couldn't believe that the battle was over after he was away for just a while. What just happened? Barry Allen asked curiously. As you can see, Reverse Flash Harrison Wells has been subdued, and you are late again. Kamu joked. Oliver Queen briefly introduced to Barry Allen what had just happened, his words revealing his admiration for the power of God. Reverse Flash Harrison Wells was imprisoned in the superpower prison. Now he no longer has the glory he had in the final battle with Kamu and others. The people standing outside the superpower prison no longer have the same admiration they had before when they looked at Reverse Flash Harrison Wells. After seeing Reverse Flash Harrison Wells, everyone left the superpower prison. Barry Allen is gone and back, and she has a lot of questions for Reverse Flash Harrison Wells to answer. Albert Swan, that's your real name, said Barry Allen. Yes, since I was born. This is probably not the question you want to ask. Reverse Flash Albert Swan replied. Why did you kill my mother? Barry Allen asked. Because I hate you, your future self. We are enemies. Mortal enemies. Opposites. The opposite of each other. Reverse Flash Albert Swan stated. Why are we enemies? Barry Allen asked curiously. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that we are not strong enough to defeat each other. until I knew your secret and your name. Barry Allen, I finally found a way to defeat you. I went back to the past, killed you as a child, and wiped you off the earth. But you in the future also came back with me. We fought, and we both suffered a lot of damage. Then you in the future rescued your young self, and I was mad. Then I thought, what would happen if you endured the grief? What if the blow you suffered was too great and too hurtful, so that the young you could never recover, and then you would not become the Flash? So I stabbed your mother's heart, and then I finally let it go, and I could finally go back to a future without the Flash. This is what I discovered when I tried to go back. I lost my way home, and the ability to control the Speed Force. Without it, I was trapped here, stranded here, unable to return to my own time, and the only way to go back is to be the Flash. But the Flash is gone, so I created him. Albert Swan, the Reverse Flash, said calmly, but this calmness was chilling. Why train me? Why help me save so many people? Barry Allen asked, puzzled. Because I need you to become fast enough to break through the barrier of time and create a stable wormhole through which I can go home. Reverse Flash Albert Swan explained. Why would I do that? Barry Allen demanded. Because, Barry Allen, if you give me what I want, I will give you what you want. You can go back to save your mother, you can save your father from prison, and you can reunite your family. Reverse Flash Albert Swan said seductively. No, I don't believe you. Barry Allen said soberly. Reverse Flash Albert Swan said nothing, but just smiled confidently. Barry Allen was angered by his smile, pounded on the glass of the superpower prison, and said angrily, I want to kill you now. I know that feeling. I used to feel it every time I looked at you, and now, somehow, I know how Joe and Henry felt when they looked at you with pride and love. Reverse Flash Albert Swan said sincerely. No, I don't allow you to say that to me. Barry Allen said even more angrily. I know you are sad, but I will give you a chance. I'm giving you a chance to undo all the sins I have committed. Don't you want this opportunity? Reverse Flash Albert Swan continued to seduce. Barry Allen didn't know how to choose and left the superpower prison without looking back. After listening to their conversation in the main control room, Shenhui decided to help reunite Barry Allen's family. Referring to the idea of thinker Clifford DeVoe, Camus broke through the barrier of time and went back to the night when Barry Allen's mother was murdered. He entered Barry Allen's home. At this time, Flash and Reverse Flash were fighting. Camus helped Flash subdue Reverse Flash, and Speedster pierced Reverse Flash's heart. Everything has changed. Barry Allen and his family of 3 live happily together. There are no more superpowered people created by the particle accelerator explosion in Midtown, and Kamui has returned to its original time. But strangely, the speed force in Kamui's body did not disappear, and the memory of the original timeline did not disappear either. Barry Allen is no longer the forensic doctor of the Midtown Police Department, but a researcher in the laboratory. He works in a cutting-edge technology laboratory with Kamui, Cisco Ramon, Caitlin Snow, Ronnie Raymond, Hartley Lathaway and others. This laboratory was jointly established by the real Dr. Harrison Wells and his wife Tess Morgan. It also studies particle accelerators, but this particle accelerator is still a long way from the experimental stage. Kamui brought history back on track, left a letter of resignation, and left this event world, and returned to the Naruto world. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 Naruto World. Kamui ended his journey in the event world and returned to the Naruto world. Kamui also changed from an adult in his 20s to an 8-year-old child. The abilities that were sealed in the mall also returned, and the mall can continue to be used. This time, Kamui has opened up lightning chakra for himself in the Flash world, so the Thunder Fruit and Thunder Dragon Slayer magic must be arranged. The Thunder Fruit, from the One Piece world, can be exchanged. Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, from the Fairy Tail world, can be exchanged after the exchange of Kamui. The fruit ability of the Thunder Fruit and the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic were combined with the lightning attached to the Speed Force. The azure power of thunder and lightning exploded, and everything that came into contact with the power of thunder and lightning was turned into powder. The noise made by Kamui was so loud that it attracted ninjas from the Shimura clan to come and investigate. Kamui's Kagura's mind's eye sensed that someone was coming, but he didn't react. In the territory of the Land of Fire, the chief of police of Konoha village had to say hello to his subordinates about the commotion he made, lest they think that foreign ninjas were going to invade Konoha village. When Kamui saw the person clearly, he frowned, because the person was not wearing the Konoha village's forehead protector, and there was no symbol on his body that could confirm that he was from Konoha village. The only thing that could be confirmed was that the other party was a ninja from the Shimura clan. "It was you who made such a big noise just now," said the ninja of the Shimura clan sarcastically. The Shimura clan joined Konoha village before the Hokage election, so Kamui naturally won't bother with him. However, in the future, there should be many people from the Shimura clan visiting the Konoha police department. "I was the one who caused the noise just now. Are you from the Shimura clan?" Kamui asked. "Kid, do you think you can call upon the Shimura clan? Since you admit that you did it, then come with me," the ninja of the Shimura clan said arrogantly. Kamui has already figured out how to mess with the Shimura clan. He won't be done until he brings all of your clan members to the police department as guests. Kamui followed the Shimura clan's ninjas obediently, but as he walked, he realized that this was not the way back to Konoha village. "Where are you taking me? Konoha village is not here. Are you lost?" Kamui said lazily. After hearing this, the Shimura clan ninja slapped him and cursed, "Shut up, you little bastard." The Shimura clan ninja was subdued by Kamui by twisting his arm before he could finish his words. "Now, I ask you, and you answer me, where are you taking me?" Shenhui asked in a deep voice. "Of course I'm going to take you to the Shimura clan. Right now the Shimura clan is fighting a war and needs manpower. I see that you are quite strong, so I want to take you with you," said the Shimura clan ninja honestly. "Take me to the battlefield as cannon fodder?" Shenhui said in a to the point manner. Shenhui thought to himself, "Why is the mall unreliable? I said I would only be away for 10 seconds, but now something strange has happened again. I have returned to the Naruto world more than 10 years later. Konoha village is at war. Who is the opponent? The 4 major ninja villages. Where are the wars going on?" Shenhui asked. "Everyone is fighting," said the ninja of the Shimura clan. Kamui released the Shimura clan ninja and said to him, "Is the Shimura clan here?" "Yes, it's this way." As soon as the Shimura clan ninja finished speaking, he felt the environment around him change, and a sudden nausea came along with dizziness. This uncomfortable feeling is exactly the side effect of Shenhui's flying thunder god formation, which is not very friendly to novices. After Kamui arrived at the Shimura clan, he found that the Shimura clan was fighting a war. Judging from the clan emblem, the opponent should be ninjas from the land of Earth. As for why he could not see the forehead protectors of Konoha village and Iwagakure village, Kamui ignored it. Kamui joined the battle. Speedy Chidori. A flash of blue lightning streaked across the battlefield. The deafening sound of thunder rang out and then disappeared. There was not a single Earth country ninja left alive on the battlefield. When the Shimura clan's ninjas reacted, they only saw Kamui's receding figure. The head of the Shimura clan greeted Kamui with a smile and began to compliment him. "What is your name, sir?" asked the patriarch of the Shimura clan. "Just call me Shenhui. If you have something to say, just tell me directly. There's no need to beat around the bush." Shenhui replied, "Okay, then I'll be frank. On behalf of the Shimura clan, I hope you can stay and serve the Shimura clan. The Shimura clan leader tried to win you over. No need. There's a war going on everywhere now, and I'm needed more elsewhere." Shenhui refused. The head of the Shimura clan had an unhappy look on his face, thinking to himself, "You are just a wandering ninja. I, the head of the Shimura clan, tried to win you over, but you dared to refuse me, and even said that there were wars everywhere, and you were needed more in other places. It is obvious that you look down on our small Shimura clan. Since you can't be used by me, you'd better disappear." The Shimura clan leader smiled again and said to Kamui, "Since you have plans, I won't force you, but you should have a simple meal before leaving. The Shimura clan can also express their gratitude." "Forget it. I don't like lively scenes. Shenwei refused again and turned away. The head of the Shimura clan said angrily, do you think the Shimura clan is a place where you can come and go as you please? Come on, kill him. Whoosh, a group of Shimura clan ninjas surrounded Kamui and used all kinds of wine style ninjutsu against Kamui. Susanoo emerged, shrouded in divine power, and blocked a wave of attacks from the Shimura clan. The head of the Shimura clan thought that Kamui was just a fast wandering ninja who could use lightning escape technique, so he used wind escape technique to restrain him. However, he never imagined that Kamui also had this special defensive technique, keep him alive and capture him to force him to reveal this defensive ninjutsu. The Shimura clan leader said greedily, you are simply a disgrace to Konoha village. Kamui said coldly, Konoha village? What place is that? I've never heard of it. Do you think you can make us let you go just by making up a place? Said the Shimura clan chief grimly. You don't know Konoha village? Kamui said in surprise. Kamui opened the Naruto world map and found that the Konoha village on the map had disappeared, and the settlements of various families were exactly the same as in the Warring States period. The most important thing was that there was an additional 2 at the back of the Naruto world map. Shenwei originally thought that the mall had got the time wrong, but he didn't expect that it had got the space wrong. Although this is also the Naruto world, it seems to be the Warring States period now. In the Naruto world where he is, the construction of Konoha village has already begun at this time, but in this Naruto world, there is still a war. After Kamui figured it out, he looked at the Shimura clan ninjas, as if they were dead people, and said, since you are not from Konoha village, you can go to the pure land. Fire fist. Fire borrows the power of wind, and wind helps the fire. The Shimura clan's wine style ninjutsu enhances Kamui's fire fist. In an instant, flames shot up into the sky, and the Shimura clan turned into a sea of fire. Kamui turned into a blue lightning, reaping the lives of the Shimura clan members. Kamui stood in front of the terrified Shimura clan leader and asked, isn't the Shimura clan a place where I can come and go as I please? You devil, how dare you massacre the people of my Shimura clan? The patriarch of the Shimura clan scolded. Everyone says I'm a devil. Would the devil care about a member of the Shimura clan like you? Your Shimura clan is not a tiger that cannot be touched. Shenwei said disdainfully. HMPH, you can be so proud of yourself. The ninjas of the Senju clan will be here soon. I'll see if you can still laugh then. The head of the Shimura clan said with a sinister smile. The Thousand Hands clan, I'm so scared. Shenwei said in an exaggerated manner before the Shimura clan leader could feel proud. Kamui opened the 3 Megatama Sharingan and said in a cold voice, guess, am I afraid of the Senju clan? The head of the Shimura clan was disappointed. How could he have offended the Uchiha clan, who was as famous as the Senju clan? But he changed his mind and thought that Kamui was just a child. When the Senju clan ninja came out, he would definitely die if he led the Shimura clan to join the Senju clan. Even if the Uchiha clan wanted to take revenge, they could only fight the Senju clan and both sides would suffer losses. The head of the Shimura clan was secretly proud. Kamui saw the raised corner of the Shimura clan leader's mouth and couldn't understand why he was so happy, so he used Chidori to send him back to the Pure Land at super speed. Emperor Yan. A huge fireball smashed into the Shimura clan settlement, taking away all traces of the land and leaving behind a big pit. Kamui left his former Shimura clan and walked slowly towards the residence of the Uchiha clan in the Naruto world. As soon as Kamui left, the ninjas of the Senju clan and the ninjas of the Shimura clan who brought the news rushed to the Shimura clan. They couldn't believe that the big pit in front of them was the former base of the Shimura clan. The ninjas of the Shimura clan burst into tears. The purpose of the ninjas of the Senju clan was to stop Kamui. Now they didn't see Kamui and the Shimura clan was gone, so they had to return to the Senju clan and report the matter to the clan leader. The ninjas of the Shimura clan became homeless and joined the Senju clan. They only knew that he later had a grandson named Dunzo. Kamui walked along the way brazenly without meeting a single ninja and arrived at the river smoothly. This river was the one that separated the Uchiha clan from the Senju clan. As long as Kamui went downstream, he would be able to find the Uchiha clan. Shenwei took out the rubber boat from his personal space and put it into the river. He lay in the rubber boat and drank an ice coke. Floating slowly all the way. Madara and Izuna were both worried today. After throwing a stone at each other, they said they would meet again another day. Two pairs of father and son hiding in the woods on both sides of the river rushed out and faced each other with swords. The two fathers, Senju Batsuma and Uchiha Tajima, knew that once their sons died, they would be killed by the other side. In their confusion, they aimed at the other side's sons, Senju Tabirama and Uchiha Izuna, and shot a kunai. The two kunai were blocked by the stones in the hands of Madara, and the great pillar Shenhua's rubber boat just happened to float over at this time. Chapter 43. Sister. Who is it? Uchiha Izuna said, and threw a kunai over. Kamui reached out to take the kunai and put away the rubber boat. If it got stuck, the rubber boat would be scrapped. Who threw the kunai just now? Kamui asked, pretending to be angry. I threw it. Do you have any objection? Uchiha Izuna said arrogantly. The mighty flying thunder god Ray instantly appeared in front of Uchiha Izuna and said, have you always been so brave, so fast? This was the feeling of everyone present. They became more alert and secretly prepared for the divine power. Izuna. Madara called out worriedly, and he launched an attack on Kamui, with the mentality of attacking Wei to save Zao, in order to protect his younger brother. Anyone who attempts to harm my brother will not be forgiven, no matter who it is, Madara said as he attacked. Kamui knows Madara's taijutsu very well, and his own taijutsu was developed by sparring with Madara. There is no difference in physical skills between the Madara in this Naruto world and the Madara in his own world. Kamui easily avoided Madara's attack, which made Uchiha Tajima, Uchiha Izuna and Oshima, who knew Madara's strength, have a new understanding of Kamui. Madara was eager to fight. The opponent should be about the same age as him. Strictly speaking, he might be a little younger than him, but he couldn't even touch the corner of his clothes. Could it be that he had been slacking off in his physical training recently? No. It wasn't that he was slacking off. It was that the opponent was too strong. He didn't expect that among his peers, there was such a master besides Sashirama. He would definitely become stronger in the future if he could compete with such a master under the influence of the external pressure brought by the powerful Kamui and Madara's own fighting spirit. When he encounters a strong enemy, Madara opened his eyes in the original work. Madara also opened his eyes at this point in time. He severed the ties with the great pillar in his heart, which allowed him to open the one Mangekyō Sharingan. Now Madara has opened the one Mangekyō Sharingan just like in the original work, but compared with the Madara in the Kamui Naruto world, it is not as good as before. Father, look at my brother's eyes, Uchiha Izuna said in surprise. Although we didn't get any information about the Senju clan, on the contrary we got a good thing, Uchiha Tajima said happily. Sharingan, has it just opened? Senju Batsuma said in surprise. Although the current pillar does not understand what it means to open the Sharingan, he can see that the situation on the field is no longer one-sided. After Madara opened the one Mangekyō Sharingan, he did not need time to adapt to the power boost brought by the Sharingan. If we use one word to describe this state, it would be that he reached his peak. As soon as he opened his eyes, Kamui no longer just dodges now. After Madara opens his Sharingan, his moves become quick and fast. Usually, after dodging one or two moves, the third move is unavoidable and can only be blocked. Not to mention using skills like Flying Thunder God Array and Super Speed Force to dodge everything. If that were the case, what would be the point of this battle? Kamui no longer hid his strength and directly used physical skills to fight with Madara. Now the gap between them was revealed. Madara, who was so aggressive just now found himself alone. The more Madara fought, the more confused he became. No matter whether it was the opponent's dodging just now or the attack now, there was a feeling that he was very familiar with him. This familiarity was the tacit understanding that he and the opponent had developed through years of training, and he had never seen this person before, which was really strange. Father, look, all of my brother's moves have been seen through, Uchiha Izuna said anxiously. Uchiha Tajima said nothing. His face was expressionless, and the worry that could not be hidden in his eyes revealed that he was not at peace in his heart at the moment. As expected, Madara was defeated. Kamui held back at the critical moment, but everyone could see that Madara was no match for Kamui. Little brother, what's your name? Kai and Xiao Fujian came up to talk to Shenwei. As soon as the battle was over, Shenwei, just call me Shenwei. Shenwei said lightly, brother. Shenwei, on behalf of the Thousand Hands clan, I sincerely invite you to be a guest of the Thousand Hands clan. Thousand Hands Buddha said bluntly, forget it. It's not appropriate for me to go to the Senju clan. Shenwei refused. Oh, in that case, let's forget it this time. Remember to come visit the Thousand Hands clan when you have the chance in the future. The door of the Thousand Hands clan is always open to you. Thousand Hands Buddha said with some regret. Senju Fujian failed to invite Shenwei to be a guest of the Senju clan as he wished, so he said goodbye and left and went home with his two sons. Senju Fujian did not ask Shenwei what was wrong, but obeyed Shenwei's wishes and did not force Shenwei to come. From this point, we can see the difference between the big family and the small family in dealing with people. The two clan leaders are both clan leaders, but the difference in temperament is not a little bit. It is no wonder that the Shimura clan was exterminated by Shenwei. After the battle between Kamui and Madara ended, Uchiha Tajima immediately went forward to check on Madara's condition. After discovering that Madara was not injured, he planned to take his two sons back to the Uchiha clan to teach them and improve their strength. Unexpectedly, when he heard that Kamui actually rejected Senju Batsuma's invitation, he looked at Kamui in surprise and then took his two sons home. Kamui did not chase after Uchiha Tajima and stage a drama of a wanderer returning home. Instead, he built a small wooden house in the future Konoha village with nothing in it except a bed. Kamui lay in bed thinking, why did he come to the Naruto world? Second, if there was anything that could cause such a terrifying effect, it would be the Speed Force. If it weren't for the sign, second, on the Naruto world map, he would have thought that the world had been restarted. However, one thing is certain, that is, the two Naruto worlds are the same. He still has more than half a month of vacation to enjoy life. Well, first have a good sleep, then go to the Uchiha clan at night to find out if I'm in this Naruto world, and then modify the stone tablet left by the Six Paths Sage. Kamui slept until late at night. After getting up, he filled his stomach, changed into the clothes of the Uchiha clan, left the flying thunder god Kune in the wooden house, and set off for the Uchiha clan. Kamui didn't hold out much hope for finding his doppelganger. From the fact that the clan leader Uchiha Tajima didn't recognize him today, it could be seen that Kamui might not exist in this world. But since he was already here, he decided to give it a try and see if there was such a person. Regardless of whether he could find him or not, he had to modify the stone tablet left by the Six Paths Sage before dawn, and then leave the Uchiha clan. After Kamui infiltrated the Uchiha clan, he went straight to his home in the clan. Along the way, he met several waves of Uchiha clan members, but no one noticed that Kamui had sneaked in. Kamui found his home in the clan and released Kagura's mind's eye to sense that there were two women and one man living in the house, namely the father, the mother and the daughter. Kamui sneaked into the house without giving up, and after looking through the clothes, he confirmed that there were only 3 people in the house. Shenwei changed everything back to its original state and quietly left. The stone tablet left by the Six Paths Sages in the Nanga Shrine. Its purpose was to persuade the descendants of the Uchiha clan not to launch the infinite Tsukuyomi, but it was tampered by Black Zetsu to become that the infinite Tsukuyomi is the real way to achieve peace, which destroyed the Uchiha clan alive. Naturally, the Kamui would not allow such a tragedy as the Night of Genocide to happen, so it naturally had to do some tricks on it. Not only had to cover up Black Zetsu's tampering, but also had to prevent Black Zetsu from discovering it. At the same time, it had to warn the clansmen who had opened the Mangekyō Sharingan not to go down the path of the Night of Genocide. Having said so much, it makes people feel that this is a very troublesome thing. In fact, all of these can be perfectly solved with a limited illusion. With Kamui's eye power, it is effortless to set up such a limited illusion. The limited requirement is that only the clan members who have opened the Mangekyō Sharingan can trigger the illusion. The content of the illusion must clearly state the cause and effect, allowing the triggerer to make his own choice. No matter what choice he makes, Kamui will respect his choice. Shenwei was walking towards Nanga Shrine with a swagger when he suddenly heard someone calling him brother. Shenwei didn't take it seriously and continued walking forward, but was grabbed by someone. The one who held Shenwei was a little girl. She had pretty features and one could tell at a glance that she would be a beauty when she grew up. Brother, where are you going so late? Don't you want me anymore? The little girl said aggrievedly. Kamu's head was buzzing and he didn't know what to say. The little girl's scream just now attracted the attention of many Uchiha people. If Kamui could not properly deal with this little girl, then this trip to the Uchiha base would end here. I came out so late to go to Nanga Shrine to worship the Shikigami and pray for their protection for us, Shenmue said stutteringly under the gaze of the little girl. Brother, didn't you never believe in these things before? The little girl asked doubtfully. This is because I encountered a ghost. Shenmue made up an excuse to prevaricate. Did you encounter a ghost? Where did you encounter it? Did it look scary? Take me there, take me there. The little girl said excitedly. What's so good about ghosts? Not only are they ugly, they can eat people, especially little girls. Shenmue said with emotion. Brother, you are not going to Nanga Shrine because you are afraid of ghosts, right? Said the little girl, as if she had seen through it. That's not the case. Kamui retorted. Then, brother, let's go home, said the little girl obediently. As soon as Shenmue raised his leg, he found that he didn't know where the little girl's home was, so his leg just hung in the air. The little girl interpreted Shenmue's current appearance as being afraid of ghosts, and therefore afraid to go home. Brother, are you afraid of ghosts, and don't dare to go home? The little girl said teasingly. Shenmue couldn't admit that he didn't know where his home was, so he could only follow the little girl's wishes and said yes. Chapter 44. Divine Power to Reincarnation. Shenmue confirmed that he was afraid of ghosts and took the opportunity to ask to go to Nan Shrine to worship. The little girl didn't stop him this time, but on the condition that he take her with him. Shenmue had no choice but to agree to her. The Uchiha clan's residence was not too far from the Nanga Shrine, and Kamui and the little girl arrived there in less than 10 minutes. Kamui pretended to worship the Shikigami and then went to look for the stone tablet left by the Six Paths sage. The little girl knelt in front of the Shikigami and prayed sincerely. She didn't care about her brother leaving. Anyway, her brother would take her home in the end. Kamui found the stone tablet left by the Six Paths sage and opened his infinite Mangekyō Sharingan to interpret the text on it. After reading it, he secretly cursed Black Zetsu for causing so much harm to others and immediately cast a limited illusion. Kamui sealed Amaterasu in the originally planned limited illusion, which was automatically triggered after seeing Black Zetsu. Although it might not be able to kill Black Zetsu in one go, it was enough to seriously injure him and delay the infinite Tsukuyomi plan. Shenmue was about to leave Nan Shrine after setting up the limited illusion, but he didn't expect the little girl to come and stick to him. Although this place is not far from the Uchiha clan's residence, Kamui did not dare to leave the little girl alone here. Shenmue planned to send the little girl home and then find a way to leave. When Kamui was about to leave Nanga Shrine with the little girl, a young man who looked very similar to Kamui came towards them. Kagura, come here quickly, he is a fake, the boy said anxiously. The little girl's name is Kagura. According to the setting of Japanese anime, Kagura's brother should be called Kamui. Combined with this extremely similar face, the boy in front of him is definitely his doppelganger. There was no transformation technique in the Warring States period. The transformation technique was invented by the second Hokage, Senju Tobirama, after the establishment of Konoha village. Seeing that she now had two older brothers, the little girl was a little overwhelmed. The doppelganger of Shenmue attacked Shenmue, intending to capture Shenmue and bring him back to the clan to prove that he was the real Shenmue. Unfortunately, although the idea of the doppelganger of Shenmue was good, reality slapped him hard in the face. The double of Kamui was subdued by Kamui almost in an instant. Kagura, run away, the doppelganger of Kamui said anxiously. After being defeated by Kamui. The little girl Kagura also reacted when she saw her brother being knocked down. It is impossible for my brother to have such strength. The person who was knocked down is my brother, and the other person is the bad guy who bullied my brother. The little girl Kagura took out a kunai from her ninja tool bag, held it in her hand, and was about to step forward to save her brother, send a signal to the tribe, and then she and her brother would attack the bad guy who pretended to be her brother, buy time, and wait for rescue by the tribe members. Miss Kagura has a good idea. but unfortunately she is now facing Kamui point without saying anything. Kamui opened his Sharingan and said, "Don't do it, we are one." The little girl Kagura stood there in a daze, her eyes wide open, staring at Kamui's Sharingan point. Kamui let go of his doppelganger, and Kamui's doppelganger ran to his sister Kagura without looking back. The little girl Kagura confirmed again and again that she was not under the influence of an illusion before she believed that Kamui was a member of the Uchiha clan. "Kagura, are you okay?" the Kamui's duplicate asked with concern. "Brother, I'm fine," the little girl Kagura said obediently. "It's good that you're okay. It's good that you're okay," the divine doppelganger said with a sigh of relief. "Who are you? Why do you look exactly like my brother?" asked the little girl Kagura curiously. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Uchiha Kamui, and I come from another world," Kamui explained. "Your name is Uchiha Kamui, then who am I?" Kamui's duplicate asked stupidly. "Is he a fool?" Kamui asked the little girl Kagura. The little girl Kagura nodded helplessly. "I came to this world by accident. The world I live in is the same as this one. It is a world where ninjas are the protagonists. I have no brothers or sisters in that world," Kamui said and glanced at the little girl Kagura. The double of Shenwei came over and patted Shenwei on the shoulder. "It must be very lonely in that world," the double of Shenwei said deeply. "In fact, I'm not alone. In that world, I'm the nephew of the clan leader Uchiha Tajima, the cousin of Madara, the cousin of Izuna, and I'm already married," Kamui said with a smile. The doppelganger of God's hand froze in midair, and his entire body was petrified. "My brother is getting married, so who is the other party?" The curiosity of the little girl Kagura was aroused by the Kamui. "Uzumaki Mito, the daughter of the Uzumaki clan leader," Kamui said calmly. "Uzumaki Mito? Isn't that the person who is going to marry Hashirama Senju, the eldest son of the Senju clan leader?" the Kamui's duplicate said suddenly. "Originally, it was. Later, I went to the Uzumaki clan to take the person away, and the Uzumaki clan cancelled the marriage," Shenwei said calmly. Although Kamui said it lightly, neither Kamui's doppelganger nor the little girl Kagura thought that it was an easy task to go to the Uzumaki clan to snatch the bride. The enthusiasm of the little girl Kagura was extinguished in an instant. She looked at her brother and thought that he would never find a wife in his life, so she took the initiative to change the subject. "You are so powerful, please teach my brother," the little girl Kagura pleaded. "Even if you don't tell me, I will still improve his strength. This is also one of the purposes of my infiltrating the Uchiha clan," Kamui said as he took out the chakra test paper. "This is a chakra test paper, specially used to test the chakra attributes. The wind attribute test paper will be cut, the fire attribute test paper will burn, the lightning attribute test paper will wrinkle, the water attribute test paper will get wet, and the earth attribute test paper will break. You can know what your chakra attribute is by injecting chakra into the test paper," Shenwei said as he handed over a chakra test paper to each person. After the Kamui double infused chakra, the test paper burned, and it turned out that he only had fire attribute. After the little girl Kagura injected chakra, the test paper first burned and then wrinkled, and the test showed that she had both fire and lightning attributes. Kamui engraved the Uchiha clan's fire style ninjutsu in the minds of the two siblings in the form of illusion. Kamui exchanged the multiple shadow clone technique and the Rasengan from them all and gave them to his doppelganger. Kamui believed that these two ninjutsu could be developed by him. Kamui still wanted to exchange for the flame fruit, but found out that this thing cannot be used on outsiders. Kamui exchanged Chidori Ryu ninjutsu from them all and gave it to the little girl Kagura. Kamui felt that it was not enough, so he gave the freezing gun from the Flash world to the little girl Kagura. Shenwei's freezing gun is an upgraded version of Freezing Gun 2.0. Freezing Gun 4.0. The Freeze Gun 4.0 version continues the power of Freeze Gun 1.0, the attack speed of Freeze Gun 2.0, and the endurance of Freeze Gun 3.0, and adds the magic circle of the fairy tale world, which can absorb natural energy at all times to charge the Freeze Gun. As soon as a little girl Kagura saw this weapon that was beautiful, technological, and powerful, She was so fond of it that her eyes were filled with love. Shenwei warned her not to let anyone know that she had such a weapon unless it was a life or death moment. The little girl Kagura knew that Kamui was doing this for her own good, so she obediently put away the freezing gun. Kamui tested the brother and sister's talent for space-time ninjutsu again and found that neither of them had it. Kamui had no choice but to give up his plan to teach the Flying Thunder God technique. Kamui asked the brother and sister to return to the Uchiha base. It wouldn't take that long to go to the Nanga shrine to worship. If they didn't go back, the clan would send someone to investigate. The three agreed to meet here tomorrow night and then went their separate ways. Shenwei returned to the cabin with the Flying Thunder God technique and fell asleep immediately, swearing that he would not get up until noon. It was bright outside, but Shenwei was still sleeping soundly in the house. The good friends Madara and Izuna got together again. But this time it's not their identities. They are not friends who can talk about anything, but enemies on the battlefield. Madara and Heihachi faced each other with swords, and both of them held back. The fight was ordinary and there was nothing special about it. Izuna and Tobirama fought back and forth. Each move was deadly, but neither could do anything to the other. The two clan leaders, Uchiha Tajima and Senju Fusuma, fought in a fancy way, interspersing fists, swords, ninjutsu and illusion techniques, turning combat into an art. But because both sides are old rivals who have experienced many battles, the fight between the two is evenly matched. The highlights of the whole show were the doppelganger of Kamui and the little girl Kagura. The Kamui duplicate's multiple shadow clone technique created 5 clones. The main body and the clones cooperated with each other and easily killed many ninjas of the Senju clan. The Chidori Ryu ninjutsu of little girl Kagura is ever changing. When you plan to use physical skills for close combat, the Chidori blade attached to the weapon will tell you that you are on point. When you are about to attack with the weapon, the retractable Chidori sharp spear will tell you that you are on again. When you are about to cast hand seals and juice ninjutsu, the fast moving Chidori will tell you that you are too slow. When you plan to attack in a group, the Chidori senbon with flowers raining down from the sky will tell you that you have too few people. The performances of the Kamui doppelganger and the little girl Kagura naturally caught the attention of everyone. The face of the doppelganger of Shenwei is very similar to Shenwei, which makes people who have seen Shenwei have different thoughts. The battle was over, and the two tribes withdrew from the battlefield and took stock of their people. Uchiha Tajima covered the wound on his abdomen and forced himself to summon the Kamui doppelganger and the little girl Kagura. He looked closely at the doppelganger of Shenwei, discovered the differences between him and Shenwei, and suppressed his disappointment. First, he praised the brother and sister for their performance on the battlefield, and secondly, he opened the clan's ninjutsu to the brother and sister for them to choose from. The brother and sister were overjoyed and happily followed their tribesmen to choose ninjutsu. Father, this Kamui not only looks similar to the man from yesterday, but even has the same name. That Kamui is most likely a member of the Uchiha clan who is stranded outside. Madara speculated. Don't worry about that Kamui. Since the current Kamui is a member of the Uchiha clan and has shown his talent, he should be trained well, Uchiha Tajima said while treating his wounds. Chapter 45. Adjust your mentality. Thousand-handed Buddha covered the wound on his broken arm and returned to the thousand-handed clan. After some treatment, he called his sons Ahashira and Tobirama to his side. You also saw that Kamui today, right? I didn't expect that he is actually a member of the Uchiha clan. Senju Fusuma said weakly. Father, the Kamui we met on the battlefield today was not the man by the river. Tobirama said affirmatively. Of course I can see that they are not the same person, but they are so similar that it is hard to say that the Kamui by the river has no connection with the Uchiha clan. Senju Fusuma said in a deep voice. Hashirama, what were you doing with the Uchiha brats on the battlefield today? Are you playing house? Senju Butsuma asked scoldingly. Father, Dazuzi was interrupted by Kai and Xiaofujian before he could finish his words. Hashirama, you are the eldest son of the Senju clan leader and will inherit the Senju clan in the future. How can I hand over the Senju clan to you with peace of mind if you are in this condition? Senju Butsuma said sternly. Dasuzi muttered for a long time without saying a word. Hashirama, you are under house arrest for 10 days, and you will be in charge of supervising Tobirama. Senju Batsuma said as he asked the two men to leave, so that he could rest and recover from his injuries. Brother, you are too soft-hearted. Tobirama said coldly. Tobirama, Madara is my friend. Dabashi emphasized. Brother, you have disappointed our father. Tobirama said indifferently. Uchiha Clan Collection Room. Brother, have you found any powerful ninjutsu? Asked the little girl Kagura in a low voice. No, except for the fire style ninjutsu that I remember in my mind. The rest of the ninjutsu here are not as powerful as what brother Kamui taught us. Kamu's duplicate said disappointedly. Then just pick one at random, otherwise it will be difficult to explain how you learned ninjutsu later. The little girl Kagura said cleverly. Point in the end, little girl Kagura picked out a book on Uchiha style swordsmanship to use with the Chidori blade. Point the Kamu's duplicate chose a fire style great fire extinguishment to cover up the fire style ninjutsu in his mind. Point after Kamui woke up in the cabin, he first took out food to replenish his energy and then practiced the newly acquired ninjutsu, mainly in order to learn it and then teach the Kamui doppelganger. And the little girl Kagura point. After learning the technique of multiple shadow clones, Kamui discovered that the clones could use lightning chakra, but could not use speed force, which made Kamu's idea of quickly advancing the map go down the drain. Point after Kamui learned Chidori Ryu ninjutsu, he focused more on studying how to use it flexibly, but as of now, Chidori Ryu ninjutsu seems to be a waste of time. Point with the dual power of the multiple shadow clone technique and super speed force, Kamui quickly learned the Rasengan. Point among the skills that Kamui possesses, the power of the Rasengan can only be ranked above average, but this does not affect Kamu's love for it at all. Point in the original work, the Rasengan showed great value in lighting, paddling, and kneading dough. Kamui decided to explore the application value of the Rasengan in various fields, and wrote a secret book on the application of the Rasengan, named The Unorthodox Use of the Rasengan. Point the sun sets, and Kamui sets off to Nanga Shrine to teach Kamu's doppelganger and the little girl Kagura. Point Kamui could hear the laughter of Kamu's doppelganger and the little girl Kagura from a distance. What are you so happy about? Shenwei said after appearing. Brother Kamui, you are here. The ninjutsu you taught us are truly powerful. Today we use the ninjutsu you taught us to achieve merit on the battlefield. Kamu's duplicate said impatiently. Point the excited doppelganger of Kamui looked at Kamui, expecting to hear Kamu's praise. Point Kamui turned his head and looked at the little girl Kagura and found that, although the little girl Kagura didn't say anything, she also looked like she was waiting for praise. Point Shenwei could see that the brother and sister had become a little arrogant after their strength soared. This was a psychological problem. Point Kamui considers himself to be the best psychological counseling master in the ninja world and has rich experience in psychological counseling. Point based on the situation of the brother and sister, Shenwei's treatment plan was just beat them up. Look how proud you two are of such a small achievement. When I was your age, I was already invincible. Am I proud? Am I proud? Shenwei said sternly with a sullen face. Point the doppelganger of Kamui and the little girl Kagura were frightened by Kamu's sudden criticism and lowered their heads obediently, but there was still a hint of dissatisfaction in their eyes. Shenwei naturally saw the dissatisfaction in their eyes and thought to himself that serious illnesses require strong medicines. Since you two brothers and sisters think you have grown strong enough, let's have a 1-on-2 battle. I will only use the ninjutsu I taught you, and there are no restrictions on you two brothers and sisters. Kamui said as if declaring war. You two brothers should make the first move, otherwise I'm afraid you will fall before you even make a move. By the way, you'd better fight with the intention of killing me, Shenwei said in a frivolous tone. Point the Kamui doppelganger and the little girl Kagura have slightly different ideas about this battle. Point although the double of Shenwei was arrogant, he took the battle more as a test of his own strength. By fighting with Shenwei, he learned the opponent's fighting skills, discovered his own shortcomings, and improved them. The little girl Kagura really wants to defeat Kamui in order to prove that she has capital to be proud. In her opinion, the restrictions Kamui imposes on her are her guarantee of victory, and her application of Chidori Ryu ninjutsu is not necessarily worse than Kamui's. When the battle started, Kamui stood there waiting for the siblings to attack. The Kamui's double body, a combination of Naruto and Obito, uses the multiple shadow clone technique to create 5 clones to surround the Kamui. First point, Kamui only used an ordinary Chidori and touched each person once, thus destroying the clones created by Kamui's doppelganger. Chidori stabbed the 6th Kamui doppelganger in the chest, only for him to disappear in a puff of smoke. The real body of Kamui's double is not in the clone, which Kamui can see. Kamui is looking forward to what kind of surprises this combination of Naruto plus Obito will bring him. At this time, Shenhua's double suddenly jumped out and attacked Shenhua's chin with a punch from bottom to top. Kamui leaned back to avoid the punch, and with a swipe of the Chidori in his hand, his clone turned into a puff of smoke and disappeared. Behind Kamui, 2 duplicates of Kamui rushed over with Rasengan in their hands. And just when the Rasengan was about to hit Kamui's back, Kamui misstepped and the Rasengan hit the air, hitting Kamui's clothes. The Kamui's double body continued to move forward with unabated momentum. The Kamui grabbed the Kamui's double body's wrist, made a half circle, and pressed the Rasengan onto the Kamui's double body's clone, which instantly turned into a ball of smoke and disappeared. At this moment, there was a flash of lightning, and the Chidori spear of the little girl Kagura pierced directly into Kamui's heart. Kamui used the Kamui doppelganger in his hand to block the Chidori spear of the little girl Kagura. The little girl Kagura hesitated for a moment, but because she was rushing too fast, she couldn't stop and could only watch Chidori penetrate into the body of the Kamui doppelganger. The Kamui double disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Fortunately, it was just a clone, and the little girl Kagura breathed a sigh of relief. Be more serious when fighting, Shenhui said sternly. Kamui's words suddenly rang in her ears, followed by a huge force coming from her abdomen, and the little girl Kagura was knocked off the ground with her feet. When the Kamui's duplicate saw his sister Kagura being knocked away, he hurried forward to check on his sister Kagura. When he found that his sister Kagura was not seriously injured, he felt relieved. When he looked up at Kamui again, the 2 Magatama Sharingan appeared in his eyes. The double of Kamui used the multiple shadow clone technique again, this time creating more than 20 clones. Kamui suspected that he had the blood of the Senju or Uzumaki clan. A normal adult Uchiha clan member might not have more chakra than Kamui's duplicate. The double incarnations of Shenhui rushed forward together, compressing Shenhui's movement space. But this was of no use, as Kamui's Chidori Senbon covered the sky and directly turned all the clones into smoke. And this is exactly what the doppelganger of God wants. The 2 doppelgangers of Kamui held Rasengan in their hands and attacked Kamui from both sides through the smoke. Kamui held the hands of the 2 Kamui duplicates holding the Rasengan with his own hands and was about to let them hurt each other when another Kamui duplicate appeared in the air. The double of Kamui in the air held the Rasengan and pressed down on Kamui from top to bottom. Kamui wanted to hide, but found that the 2 Kamui duplicates on his left and right dispersed their Rasengan, freed their hands, and held his hands tightly. He didn't know when his feet were also grabbed by the 2 Kamui duplicates. The little girl Kagura seized the opportunity and first raised Chidori Senbon at Kamui, then quickly rushed forward and stabbed the Chidori in her hand directly into Kamui's heart. The situation is very unfavorable for Shenhui, but Shenhui has already found a solution. Shenhui exerted force on his waist and pulled his legs together, and like pulling onions out of dry land, his feet left the ground, and the Shenhui's double body that was holding Shenhui's feet was also pulled out of the ground. Shenhui twisted his body in the air, and the 2 Shenhui doppelgangers that grabbed Shenhui's hands were pulled over Kamui. Throughout a duplicate Kamui with one hand, one to block Chidori Senbon, and the other to smash the duplicate Kamui in the air. Chidori Senbon and the double body of Kamui died together. The real body of the Kamui doppelganger holding the Rasengan in the air was disturbed by its own clone and lost the best opportunity to attack. Just as Shenhui's body was about to fall heavily and crush the clone of Shenhui's double. The Chidori in the little girl Kagura's hand suddenly changed into the Chidori sharp spear and stabbed it towards the Kamui, who had nowhere to gain support in the air. Kamui formed seals with his hands and used the multiple shadow clone technique to create a clone. With the help of the clone, he dodged the Chidori spear of the little girl Kagura. After Kamui dodged the Chidori spear, He fired back with the Chidori spear. The little girl Kagura rushed forward by inertia and could not avoid Kamu's Chidori sharp spear at all. Just when little girl Kagura thought she was dead, Kamu stopped in time and prevented little girl Kagura from getting an accident. The little girl Kagura knew that she had lost and she felt a little depressed and quietly withdrew from the battlefield. Chapter 46 Madara and -039 S Intuition. The double body of Shenwei was panting heavily, and it was obvious that the series of attacks just now had exhausted him greatly. Shenwei stood where he was, not breathing heavily, and waited calmly for Shenwei's doppelganger to launch an attack. The doppelganger of Shenwei knew that he was no match for Shenwei. He just wanted to know how big the gap was between him and Shenwei. He still had one move, and he wanted to decide the outcome with one move. Brother Kamu, I know I'm no match for you, but I'm unwilling to admit defeat. I have a newly developed ninjutsu. Let's decide the outcome with one move. Kamu's duplicate said seriously. Shenwei nodded, indicating that Shenwei's double could attack. Shenwei's second body split into 3 clones. One stood in front to prevent Shenwei from sudden attacks, and the main body and the 2 clones used ultimate skills. A little girl Kagura was also attracted by the new ninjutsu her brother mentioned. When Kamu saw the familiar formation in front of him, he immediately thought, isn't this Naruto's wind style Rasen Shuriken? Naruto's wind style Rasen Shuriken is formed by the chakra provided by the main body and the 2 clones injecting the chakra into the shape and property changes respectively, thus forming the wind style Rasen Shuriken. The Kamu doppelganger does not possess wind attribute chakra, so what is he doing now with the opening move of wind style Rasen Shuriken? Shenwei was full of doubts and continued. Reading. The main body of the Kamuhai double maintains a stable output of chakra, while the clone is responsible for injecting changes in form. Here comes the key point. The other clone is responsible for injecting changes in the properties of fire. The temperature in the field rose as the new ninjutsu of the Kamu doppelganger took shape. There was an expression of disbelief in Shenwei's eyes, and he doubted whether he was the protagonist. First he learned the Rasengan in one day, then he opened 2 Magatama, and then he created a new ninjutsu that was not inferior to the wind style Rasen Shuriken. Even novels wouldn't dare to write like this. The surface of the fiery red chakra ball is burning, and the inside of the chakra ball inherits the same irregular flow characteristics as the Rasengan. Although we are far away, we can still feel its scorching temperature. Fire style spiral burst. The Kamu doppelganger shouted the name of the move and rushed over. Kamu finally got serious, wrapped his right hand with lightning chakra, and the blue Chidori collided with the fire style spiral burst bomb in Kamu's second body. After the 2 ninjutsu collided, the sun and the moon lost their luster for a moment, and the sky and the earth were dark. Only a dazzling light burst out between the 2 people, followed by a huge explosion. The aftermath of the ninjutsu collision began to spread, and all the affected places turned into dust and dissipated into the air. After the little girl Kagura's eyes had finally adjusted to the environment, she hurried forward to find out about her brother's situation. The Uchiha clan members far away in the Uchiha base were also attracted by the explosion. The clan leader Uchiha Tajima sent his son Uchiha Madara to investigate the situation. At the center of the explosion, a charred deep pit appeared. In the pit, the double body of Shenwei was lying on the ground. His right hand was severely burned, but he was just weak and not seriously injured. The little girl Kagura ran to the Kamu doppelganger and asked, brother, are you seriously injured? I'm fine, just exhausted. The second incarnation of Shenwei stood up and said with full energy. Kamu was standing intact not far away. Suddenly, with a bang, he turned into a cloud of smoke and disappeared. That's right, it was just a shadow clone of Kamu. Shenwei's real body had been hiding in the tree, watching the battle. He was very satisfied with the performance of the brother and sister in the battle. The only shortcoming was that they did not have enough combat experience. After Kamu appeared, he came to the Kamu doppelganger and used medical ninjutsu to heal the burn on his right hand. Brother Kamu, my newly developed ninjutsu, fire style spiral burst bullet, is very powerful, right? Kamu's duplicate said excitedly. It's really amazing. Kamui praised while the medical ninjutsu in his hand began to transmit chakra point during the treatment. Shenwei learned that the burns on Shenwei's double's right hand were not just on the skin, but also on the meridians inside point in the original work. Wind-style Rasen Shuriken also has the side effect of destroying Naruto's hand cells, and is therefore forbidden to use. This is the case even with the double protection of the Uzumaki clan's physique and the Ninetales chakra recovery ability point. The Kamui doppelganger has neither the blood of the Uzumaki clan nor the recovery ability of the Ninetales chakra. It doesn't take much. Only 3 more uses of fire style. Spiral burst bomb will basically bid farewell to his ninja career. And in the warring states period, bidding farewell to a ninja career meant waiting for death. Your right hand is badly burned. Not only the skin, but also the meridians inside. This is a side effect of the fire style, spiral burst bomb. You are forbidden to use this ninjutsu from today on. Otherwise you can say goodbye to your ninja career. Shenwei warned solemnly. The divine double was silent for a while, and asked without confidence, is there no solution? Yes. Have you heard of magic? Shenwei asked back. Without waiting for the Kamui doppelganger to answer, Kamui continued, Senjutsu is a special chakra that can only be used by perfectly integrating physical energy, spiritual energy, and natural energy. It is said that the 3 holy places of Myaboki Mountain, Wetbone Forest, and Ryochi Cave have methods for learning Senjutsu. The double of Shenwei said excitedly, Brother Shenwei, let's go to the 3 holy places to learn immortal arts, but I don't know the exact location of the 3 holy places. Shenwei said calmly. The doppelganger of God is lost again. Kamui's medical ninjutsu cured the burn on Kamui's double's right hand and warned, don't use the Rasengan on your right hand within a month, otherwise it will leave sequelae. Kamui's Kagura's mind's eye sensed that the Uchiha clan members would be arriving soon. Okay, the Uchiha people are here, so I will retreat first. As for how to explain it, I don't care. See you tomorrow night. After saying this, Kamui activated the Flying Thunder God technique and disappeared. Kamui and Kagura, why are you here? Asked Uchiha Madara. We are practicing ninjutsu here, said the Kamui duplicate. Then, the explosion just now was, Uchiha Madara said as he looked at the scene around him. It was caused by the sparring between Kagura and I. The Kamui doppelganger explained. Madara looked at the traces left on the battlefield and found that they matched the chakra properties of the Kamui and Kagura siblings. Apart from that, he could not find anything valuable, so he did not ask any further questions. Kamui and Kagura followed Uchiha Madara and other clan members back to the Uchiha base. After Madara returned to the base, he immediately told his father Uchiha Tajima what he had seen. Uchiha Tajima did not summon the Kamui Kagura siblings for questioning, but simply said that he knew, and let Madara leave. Madara was still brooding over this matter. No, it should be said that Madara was still brooding over Kamui's face. Madara has always been invincible among his peers since he was a child. Even the Great Pillar is only on par with him. He is completely powerless to fight back against this sudden appearance of Kamui, which makes Madara feel very complicated. After that battle, Madara had been improving his strength, hoping to defeat him the next time they fought, but he lost track of him. At this time, a ninja with a similar appearance, the same name and similar age emerged in the clan and entered Madara's sight. He was Uchiha Kamui. Although Madara knew that Uchiha Kamui and that Kamui were 2 completely different people the first time he saw him, he always felt in his heart that there was an inexplicable connection between them. The damage caused at the Nanga Shrine today made Madara even more suspicious that the 2 Kamuis were connected, and Madara decided to secretly observe the Uchiha Kamui himself, hoping he would be able to find clues about the other Kamui. The brother and sister Kamui and Kagura had no idea that someone was watching them secretly. They went to Nanga Shrine as usual to learn ninjutsu from their elder brother Kamui. Kamui arrived at the Nanga Shrine ahead of time and released Kagura's mind's eye to wait for the Kamui and Kagura siblings. Kamui's Kagura mind's eye sensed that Kamui and Kagura were approaching, and behind them, Kamui also sensed Madara and thought to himself, if you don't look for me, I will look for you. Madara has been following the Kamui and Kagura siblings, and he is becoming more and more excited. He feels that he will soon see the Kamui point. Just as the Kamui and Kagura siblings were about to say hello to their elder brother Kamui, they heard Madara behind them say, "Kamui, I finally found you." The Kamui and Kagura siblings quickly turned around to see who was following them and blamed themselves for being careless. "So, it was you who taught them ninjutsu behind the scenes," Madara said calmly. "Do you know each other?" Shenhua's double said stupidly, "I know him. He beat me in taijutsu." Madara said bluntly, "So, are you planning to get your revenge today?" Shenhui said frivolously, "Of course." Madara said without hesitation, "Well, as long as you defeat both of them, I will fight you to the death." Shenhui said, "Okay, you two come together." Madara said confidently. Before the siblings Kamui and Kagura could figure out what was going on, they were pushed out as shields by their elder brother Kamui. In fact, if you think about it the other way around, brother Kamui found a sparring partner for them. Kamui was also afraid that they had dealt them too harsh a blow yesterday, making them timid, so he wanted to help them rebuild their self-confidence today. And Madara came at the right time. The injury on the right hand of the Kamui doppelganger has not healed yet, so he is responsible for restricting and consuming the enemy today, using the human wave tactics of the multiple shadow clone technique to keep entangled with Madara and not giving him the chance to use ninjutsu. The little girl Kagura used the Chidori Ryu ninjutsu to find the right moment to attack Madara, who was restrained by the shadow clone. After the attack, she did not linger and immediately distanced herself from Madara, waiting for the next opportunity. Madara's strength is above that of the Kamui doppelganger and the little girl Kagura, but he is suppressed by the cooperation of the two brothers and sisters. Madara planned to end the battle quickly, so he opened his Sharingan, and 3 small Magatama were clearly visible in his eyes. Kamui looked at Madara's 3 Magatama Sharingan and sighed that everyone in this Naruto world is cheating. In 3 days, 1 Magatama becomes 3 Magatama. Will you have Mangekyō tomorrow? Chapter 47 Missing Home. After Madara opened the Sharingan, the Kamui doppelganger also opened the Sharingan, but the two of them used the Sharingan very differently. Putting aside the level difference between 3 Magatama and 2 Magatama, Madara has been a genius of the Uchiha clan since he was a child, and he also has the identity of the young clan leader. His own exploration and the application skills of the Sharingan that he has heard and seen since he was a child are enough for him to quickly master the Sharingan. On the other hand, before meeting Kamui, the Kamui doppelganger was a nobody in the clan, with neither strength nor status. It was hard to say whether he could open his eyes, let alone have the opportunity to learn the application skills of the Sharingan. Madara's advantage in physical skills was finally brought into play. Among the many shadow clones, he was like a butterfly flying among flowers, and his every move could take away the shadow clone of the second incarnation of Kamui. The human wave tactics of the Kamui double body are not working. If it continues like this, it will just be a waste of chakra. The Kamui doppelganger changed his mindset and observed Madara with a group of shadow clones, learning his fighting skills, and his physical skills improved significantly. Madara saw what the doppelganger of Kamui was thinking, but he did not stop him. Instead, he was happy to help him. Madara is a very conceited person. In his opinion, even if you can learn all my fighting skills, you will definitely not be my opponent. Although the Kamui doppelganger has the Sharingan and the multiple shadow clone technique, and has learned Madara's fighting skills, it is still no match for Madara, who has been honed in battle. The little girl Kagura is now in a difficult situation. That is, Madara and his brother are fighting too fast, and she has no chance to attack at all. Once she attacks, she will most likely be hit by Madara's attack, because she cannot react in time. At this time, all the shadow clones of the Kamui duplicate had been killed in the field. Madara also got close to the Kamui duplicate, not giving him the opportunity to use the multiple shadow clone technique, and it seemed that the Kamui duplicate was about to be defeated. The little girl Kagura gathered her Chidori and rushed over regardless of anything. She was so fast that she couldn't even see the road in front of her because it was rushing towards him in a straight line. Madara just dodged to the side and easily avoided Chidori's attack. The Chidori of the little girl Kagura rescued the Kamui doppelganger, which made him breathe a sigh of relief. Not everyone can withstand Madara's violent attack. The Kamui duplicate used the multiple shadow clone technique again, but this time there were only 3 pitiful shadow clones. The little girl Kagura rushed out a long way before she stopped. She used Chidori Ryu ninjutsu continuously, and there was very little chakra left in her body. She could only use Chidori Ryu ninjutsu once at most. 2 of the 3 shadow clones of Kamu's double have been killed. The remaining shadow clones and the original body are struggling to hold on under Madara's violent attack. Miss Kagura's physical skills are the worst among the 3. She was beaten back as soon as she went up. Miss Kamui is also stubborn. She is constantly knocked down and keeps getting up. Little girl Kagura finally held on under Madara's hands, and little girl Kagura made great progress under siege by 3 people. Madara deliberately exposed a flaw to lure the opponent to attack. The original body and shadow clone of Kamui saw it and did not fall into the trap. However, the little girl Kagura was eager to win and stepped into the trap. The little girl Kagura saw Madara's weakness and used her last bit of chakra. She was afraid that Madara would dodge her ninjutsu and was also afraid of hurting Madara, so she deliberately used the Chidori Senbon, which had the widest range and the least damage. Madara Moto deliberately exposed his flaws and naturally noticed the Chidori style ninjutsu of the little girl Kagura. He jumped backwards and perfectly avoided all the Chidori thousand bones. However, the original body and shadow clone of the Kamui duplicate were unable to react in time and were hit by Chidori Senbon. The shadow clone was killed on the spot and disappeared in a cloud of smoke, while the original body was paralyzed by Chidori Senbon's lightning chakra and could not move. Brother! The little girl Kagura screamed and immediately came to the side of the Kamui doppelganger to check on his condition. The double body of Shenwei is twitching now, but it is not seriously injured. It is just impossible for it to continue fighting. Madara did not take advantage of the situation. In fact, the battle had reached this point and the result was already obvious. In the end, Madara won. According to the agreement, after Madara defeats the Kamu's duplicate and the Kagura siblings, he can fight Kamui. Come on, Kamui, I can't wait to fight you, Madara said with high fighting spirit. Come on, Madara, let me see how much you've improved. Kamui responded. The 2 men started in an instant, their arms intersecting, and a strong wind blew in their faces. The 2 of them abandoned fancy techniques and only used physical skills to fight, leaving the Kamui doppelganger and the little girl Kagura who were watching on the side stunned. Madara didn't use his full strength when he fought us just now, the Kamui doppelganger said dryly as he looked at Madara who was firing at full power. Yeah, the little girl Kagura answered absent-mindedly. One day, sooner or later, I will become as strong as them. The doppelganger of Shenwei encouraged himself. Brother, do you think Madara can defeat brother Kamui? Asked the little girl Kagura. Brother, Kamui has defeated Madara before, and this time is no exception, Kamu's duplicate said confidently. How strong is brother Kamui? Asked the little girl Kagura. As for this question, we can ask big brother Shenwei after they finish fighting, Shenwei's duplicate answered seriously. With the help of the 3 Megatama Sharingan, Madara was able to tie with Kamui in physical skills, but he was not satisfied. Madara suddenly jumped back and left the battlefield. Kamui, you are also a member of the Uchiha clan, right? Open your Sharingan, Madara said with certainty, and after that he glanced at the Kamu's duplicate intentionally or unintentionally, as you wish. Kamui opened the 3 Megatama Sharingan and displayed it in front of Madara. The 2 fought again, and Madara no longer used simple physical techniques, but also used ninjutsu and illusion techniques. Madara quickly formed seals with his hands and used the fire style, great fireball technique to blast towards Kamui. After Kamui used his fire fist to break up the fire style, great fireball technique, he continued to blast straight at Madara. With the remaining force. The fire fist hit Madara, who was hit and turned into a log. In the blink of an eye, the log was burned to ashes. Madara used the substitution technique to avoid Kamu's fire fist, quickly approached Kamui and attacked Kamui from behind. Kamui was unable to dodge and was punched away by Madara. Just when Madara thought he had succeeded, the Kamui that was punched away made a bang and turned into a cloud of smoke and disappeared. It turned out that after Kamui used his fire fist to disperse the fire style, great fireball technique, He left a shadow clone in the original place to lure Madara into the trap, and Madara unexpectedly stepped into the trap set by Kamui. After Madara punched the flying shadow clone, his body was in a stage where the old strength was exhausted and the new strength had not yet been generated. Kamui took this opportunity to fire a Rasengan at Madara's chest. Madara was hit by the Rasengan and spat out blood, and his body was blown away by the remaining force. The battle was over, and Madara lost again. Madara dusted himself off, walked over and admitted generously, "I lost." Kamui understands Madara's character. If you are polite at this time, Madara will think you are insulting him, but if you are a little more aggressive, Madara may fight you to the death. "I've lost before, many times," Shenhui said, recalling the past. "Who defeated you?" Madara asked. "It's you from another world." Kamui said to Madara. "Another world?" Madara said, looking at the duplicate Kamui, then looking at Kamui thoughtfully. "Brother Shenhui, are you homesick?" The little girl Kagura said sympathetically. "Well, it's time to go home," Shenhui said with a nostalgic look on his face. "Brother Shenhui, will you come back?" asked Shenhui's duplicate. "Don't worry, I will come back to see you when I have time," Shenhui said with a smile. "Kamui, how do you get back to the other world?" Madara suddenly asked. "Use time and space ninjutsu," Kamui said as a matter of course. "What is space-time ninjutsu?" Madara asked puzzledly. "The ninjutsu that allows a caster to freely travel through real space or different dimensions is called space-time ninjutsu," Kamui explained. Seeing the three people's puzzled expressions, Shenhui said, "Hold on to me." The three of them did as they were told, and Kamui used the flying thunder god technique to teleport back to the cabin. The rapid conversion of time and space caught the double of Shenhui off guard, and he sat down on the ground, feeling dizzy and nauseous. Madara suppressed the dizziness and nausea, and looked around carefully, realizing that this place was far away from the Nanga shrine. Madara looked at Kamui in shock and thought to himself, if Kamui had used space-time ninjutsu in the battle just now, I would have lost even faster. The condition of the little girl Kagura was better than that of Madara and the Kamui doppelganger. She didn't feel dizzy or nauseous at all. She opened her eyes wide and looked at everything around her with surprise. Kamui looked at the little girl Kagura and secretly felt sorry for her. Kamui had previously tested the brother and sister's talent for space-time ninjutsu, but found that neither of them had it. "Shenhui, how strong are you?" Madara asked in a deep voice. Madara's question was also what the Kamui's duplicate and the little girl Kagura wanted to ask. The three of them looked at Kamui with fiery eyes, eager to know the answer. "Okay, let's go out and talk about it." Shenhui had no choice but to satisfy their curiosity. "First of all, I want to tell you that the 3 Magatama Sharingan is not the end of the Sharingan," Kamui said solemnly, and activated the infinite Mangekyō Sharingan. Kamui's words rang in their ears like a thunderclap, breaking their conventional understanding of the Sharingan. When they saw Kamui's infinite Mangekyō Sharingan, they understood that Kamui was right, and they were eager to know what the world was like above the 3 Magatama Sharingan. Above the 3 Magatama Sharingan is the Mangekyō Sharingan. Each person develops different Mangekyō abilities based on what they most desire in their hearts at the time. Shenhui introduced. Madara and the other two listened carefully to Kamui's words. "My kaleidoscope abilities are returning to emptiness with my left eye and transforming into reality with my right eye," Shenhui continued. Chapter 48 Returning to Konoha Village. "My kaleidoscope abilities are returning to emptiness with my left eye and transforming into reality with my right eye," Shenhui continued. "The left eye's return to void can turn everything in front of you into nothingness, and the right eye's transformation can materialize what you think in your mind, just like this," Shenhui said as he activated the return to void on the cabin. "The cabin is gone," Shenhui's second incarnation said in surprise. Ban and the other two went forward to check and found that the cabin had really disappeared. The divine power took effect again, and the cabin appeared out of thin air before everyone's eyes. Madara and the other two touched the cabin and marveled at the power of the Mangekyō Sharingan. In addition to this, the Mangekyō Sharingan has another ability, Susanoo. Kamui said mysteriously. Madara and the other two had a look of question marks on their faces, waiting for Kamui to show them the power of Susanoo. The fiery red Susanoo slowly appeared and stood in front of Madara and the other two. Madara and the other two looked at the Susanoo in front of them and couldn't help but admire its ferocity and domineering nature, as well as the desire that was about to overflow from its eyes. Kamui put away Susanoo and returned to the ground. Madara stepped forward and asked, in that world, did I activate the Mangekyō Sharingan? Of course it is open. Shenhui replied. After getting the answer, Madara stepped aside, wondering what he was thinking. Brother Kamui, Susanoo is so cool. Kamui's second incarnation said with stars in his eyes. You will be able to open the Mangekyō Sharingan in the future, and then you will have Susanoo. Kamui said in a persuasive manner. The little girl Kagura was a little silent, because she was the only one who didn't even have a Sharingan. Kamui comforted the little girl Kagura, and gave her a big bowl of chicken soup for the soul, and she became cheerful again. Kamui used the flying thunder god technique again, and sent them back to Nanga Shrine. I'm leaving. I miss home. Shenhui said in a deep voice. Brother Shenhui, are you leaving now? Asked the little girl Kagura. I'm leaving soon. It's nice to meet you. I will bring my friends from that world to visit you when I have the chance. Shenhui promised. Really? Remember to bring me from that time here. Madara said in surprise. Yes, definitely. Shenhui agreed. Okay, goodbye everyone. Shenhui waved to everyone. Brother Shenhui, I will become very strong next time we meet. Shenhui's duplicate said confidently. Kamui smiled and gave him a thumbs up to cheer him on, then disappeared. After Kamui left, Kamui's doppelganger and the little girl Kagura could no longer stop their sadness, and tears kept flowing down. The little girl Kagura opened her eyes in the sadness of parting, with 2 Magatama in her left eye and 1 Magatama in her right eye. After using the flying thunder god technique, Kamui appeared in his own home. According to the time calculation in the Naruto world, it has only been 8 or 9 days since Kamui left Konoha, and there has been almost no change at home. Shenhui stroked the furniture, a look of nostalgia in his eyes. Kamui, you're back. Mito said in surprise, then hugged Kamui. Yes, I came back after completing the mission. Come, let me see if you missed me. Shenhui said teasingly. Kamui had a brief chat with Mito at home, and then went to the Hokage building to hand in the task to Hokage Madara. After Kamui saw Madara, he looked at the piles of documents beside Madara, felt sorry for Madara for 3 seconds, and then began to gloat over his misfortune. Just put the document aside, Ban said without looking up as he processed the document. Brother Ban, I'm back. Shenhui said. Madara recognized Kamui's voice, looked up and said in surprise, it's great that you're back Kamui. Come and help me with some documents. Madara said as he picked up a stack of documents that was more than a meter tall and placed them in front of Kamui. I came back to complete the mission. Kamui reminded Madara. Madara slapped his forehead and said, I almost forgot. I asked you to catch the tailed beasts. How are you doing? How many did you catch? Kamui took out 9 sealing containers, placed them on Madara's desk, and said, all 9 tailed beasts are here. Kamui, thank you for your hard work. Madara said sincerely, well, it is indeed very hard. I have to sleep in the open air, be exposed to the sun and rain every day, and have no fixed place to live. But I have overcome all these difficulties. Shenhui complained. After hearing this, Madara's veins bulged on his forehead, and he said in a deep voice, 3 days ago, a large-scale battle took place in the Land of Fire. Traces of Amaterasu's flames were found at the scene. Kamui, what do you think? That was me catching the 9-tailed fox. Kamui said after recalling. Then, can you explain where you went for 3 days after capturing the 9 tails? Madara asked the key question calmly. How can Kamui respond? If he admits that he went out to play in the name of the mission, Madara will be angry and will naturally ask me to handle the documents for him. To be honest, Madara may get even angrier and will still handle the documents for him. I choose neither of these 2 options. I choose C. I haven't been back to the police department for a long time. There must be a lot of work waiting for me in the police department. I'll go back and deal with it first. Kamui said this, and without waiting for Madara to react, he activated the Flying Thunder God formation and disappeared without a trace. By the time Madara realized what was happening, Kamui had already left, and Madara was so angry that he yelled, "Asshole!" Shenmue, who escaped the disaster, naturally would not go to the police department. God knows how many documents are waiting for him to deal with in the police department. Kamui walked on the streets of Konoha village, breathing the air of Konoha village, and sighing at the hard-won peace. "Kamui, when did you come back?" asked Senju Itama, who was walking towards him. "You just came back from completing a mission for the Hokage. Why are you wandering around the street instead of staying in the mission department?" Kamui asked curiously. "The daimyo of the Fire Country wants to attend the talks and recruit guards from the village. The village is short of manpower, so I have to take over," Itama said helplessly. "Besides, the daimyo of the Fire Nation, who else will participate? What is the purpose of the talks?" asked Kamui. "There are daimyos from other countries as well. The purpose of the talks might be to discuss the ninja village," Itama said uncertainly. Kamui guessed that after this daimyo meeting, there would probably be the first 5-Cage summit. I remember that it was mentioned in the original work that he had fought with the first Hokage from a certain angle. It was not the case that he threw a kunai from 800 miles away as in the plot, but as an elite of Tokugakure, he was sent to carry out the mission of assassinating the first Hokage, which seemed to be the 5-Cage summit. "Kamui, how about you serve as the daimyo's bodyguard?" Itama's words interrupted Kamui's thoughts. "I can't protect the daimyo. I'm afraid I can't control myself, and I've been away from the police department for so long. I don't know how many documents have accumulated that I need to deal with. Goodbye." After Shenmue finished speaking, the Flying Thunder God formation disappeared instantly. Itama, who stayed where he was, had no choice but to reluctantly serve as the daimyo's bodyguard. Kamui, who escaped danger once again, teleported himself to the Uchiha clan's territory. When Konoha village was first established, the Senju and Uchiha clans were located on the east and west sides respectively. The Uchiha clan was to the west of Konoha village. Kamui thought that, since he was in the Uchiha clan's territory, no one would arrange a job for him. Madara is processing documents in the Hokage building. Itama is acting as the daimyo's bodyguard. Izumi is either carrying out missions or training new recruits in the Anbu. Tobirama is treating the wounded in the Konoha hospital, and the Great Pillar is teaching young people in the ninja school. No one from the Uchiha clan will show up to stop me from being lazy. Just when Shenmue was preparing to experience a good life, Dasuzi came over. "Shenmue, you're back. Did the mission go well?" asked Dasuzi. Kamui looked back at the big pillar stiffly and said, "The tailed beast has been handed over to Madara. As the principal of a ninja school, why are you running to the Uchiha clan instead of teaching the youngsters in school?" "Oh, I'm here for a home visit. There is a child in the Uchiha clan who has reached school age. I'm here to persuade his parents to enroll him." "Kamui, do you know where Uchiha Kazuto's home is?" Oshira's reason was impeccable. Kamui, expressionless, brought the big pillar and found Uchiha Kazuto's home. "Kamui, you are also a member of the Uchiha clan. It would be most appropriate for you to come forward to solve the admission problem of the Uchiha and others." Dasuzi invited. He said, he really said, "Another person wants to arrange a job for me, but I don't want to work." The mad Shenmue didn't even bother to say anything perfunctory and directly flew into the Thunder God formation and disappeared on the spot. "Where is the Shenmue man? Strange," Dasuzi said with a confused look on his face. Kamui felt that he could no longer stay in the village, so he used the Flying Thunder God formation to leave Konoha village, thinking that no one would assign him a job this time. "Kamui, why are you here?" Tobirama suddenly appeared and said, "This question should be asked to you. Why don't you save people in Konoha hospital instead of running to this desolate mountain?" Kamui said expressionlessly, "Based on my eldest brother's would release clone, I'm developing a ninjutsu that can be used for reconnaissance and transmitting intelligence." Tobirama said calmly, "Multiple shadow clone technique?" asked Shenmue. Tobirama looked at Kamui in surprise. "That's the idea. From what you said, it seems that you have already developed it." Tobirama said calmly. Kamui used the multiple shadow clone technique directly in front of Tobirama, and 5 shadow clones exactly like Kamui appeared out of thin air. Tobirama was somewhat moved when he saw the 6 identical Kamui eyes and asked quickly how the Kamui eyes were developed, what the key points and difficulties were. Shenwei really wants to slap himself now. Is this just looking for trouble? In order to get rid of Tobirama, Kamui threw down the scroll of multiple shadow clone jutsu and then ran away with the flying thunder god formation. Shenwei accepted his fate. It was impossible to be lazy. This time he teleported himself to the police department and was ready to face the mountain of documents. Shenwei entered the police department. The subordinates in the department greeted Shenwei one by one. Shenwei responded one by one and walked towards his office. Shenwei had piles of documents on his desk in the office. He patiently reviewed them until the evening and only completed 1/10 of the total. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. The Eve of the Five Shadows talks. After a week of unremitting efforts, Shenwei finally resolved the backlog of documents. Shenwei can finally return to his previous state, a leisurely life of drinking tea, going to and from, get off work on time, and patrolling the streets with a team when he gets tired of sitting. It has been a week since Kamui returned to Konoha village, but he has never seen Izuna. Kamui guessed that the Anbu were quite busy with their work. In fact, Izuna's job in the Anbu is just to train newcomers. Apart from that, there is basically no task that requires him, the Anbu minister, to go out in person. But recently, the Uchiha village in the land of whirlpools has formed an alliance with the Konoha village, and in exchange for the scroll of sealing techniques, they arranged for the village's ninja to enter Konoha and make him the link between the two villages. This task should have been arranged for Kamui to complete. Kamui is the younger brother of Naruto's Madara, and is also the minister of police of Konoha village. He gives great respect to the Uchiha village in terms of his identity, and he has Mito as his wife, so he just took this opportunity to take Mito home to visit. But at that time, Kamui was outside capturing the tailed beasts and was not in the village, so this task naturally fell on Izuna. Izuna is also the younger brother of Naruto's Madara and the Anbu minister of Konoha. His status is not inferior to Kamui, and he also gives great respect to the Uchiha village. Therefore, when Kamui is not there, Izuna is the best candidate. The Uzumaki village in the Whirlpool country is a village built by the Uzumaki clan themselves. The Uzumaki clan is the maiden family of Kamui's wife Mito. As early as the establishment of Konoha, Kamui and Mito invited the Uzumaki clan to join Konoha, but were later rejected by the Uzumaki clan. Later, as the ninja village model became popular, the Uzumaki clan took the opportunity to establish the Uchiha village in the land of whirlpools. Now the Uchiha village has proposed to form an alliance with Konoha village, and Konoha village naturally will not refuse. Shenwei had been sitting in the office for a week and was no longer able to sit idle, so he took a team of tribesmen to patrol the streets. The villagers they met on the road all gave way and looked at the Uchiha clan from the police department with unspoken disgust in their eyes. Shenwei casually asked the tribesmen who were patrolling the streets together, "Why are the villagers afraid of the police?" The Uchiha clan member who was asked had a strange look on his face, thinking, "What's going on? Don't you know what's going on? Who spread the prank to the whole village? Then you became the head of the police department. The villagers hate you, and the police department naturally does things that offend people. Is the villagers' attitude strange?" The Uchiha clan member who was asked could not speak out his thoughts, of course, and only replied, "Maybe the clan members are a bit tough when enforcing the law." Kamui seemed to be thinking about something, thinking about how to improve the laws of Konoha village. At the same time, it was time to absorb some ninjas from other families and civilian ninjas. The Uchiha clan could no longer dominate the police department. If the Uchiha clan continues like this, it is very likely that they will follow the same path as in the original work, being hated by the entire village and eventually being exterminated. "Shenwei, you skipped work again." Banjian said. "Who skipped work? I'm working. I'm patrolling the streets." Can't you see the team of police officers behind me? Shenhui said while trying to cover up after his little thoughts were exposed. You always have a reason. Banjian said helplessly. By the way, didn't you go to serve as the daimyo's bodyguard? You performed poorly and were fired? Shenhui teased. What do you mean by dismissal? Can't you just hope for something good from me? Banjian said with a little excitement. The mission of escorting the daimyo has been completed. This time I came back with an important message that I need to tell the Hokage. Itama said with a serious look on his face. Kamui arranged for the police officers around him to continue patrolling the streets and went to the Hokage building with Itama. Kamui and Itama saw Madara working hard at his desk. Madara heard 2 footsteps and looked up to see who it was. Shenhui, how dare you appear in front of me? Banyu said angrily. It's been a week and you still haven't forgotten it. Shenhui complained. HMPH. Madara responded proudly. Itama, how is the daimyo's protection work going? Madara asked. On the whole, nothing much happened. We encountered 2 or 3 groups of bandits and stray ninjas on the way, but we dealt with them all, and the daimyo made it back to the land of fire safely. Itama said casually. Very good, well done. It's much less troublesome than someone else. While praising Itama, Madara did not forget to discredit Kamui. During this meeting between the daimyo, the development of the ninja village was mentioned. The specific matters require face-to-face talks between the cages of each village. Itama said with a serious face. Kamui thought to himself, the 5-cage summit is about to begin. In the original work, the first Hokage, the Oshima, distributed the tailed beasts at this 5-cage summit. Now the 9 tailed beasts are also in Konoha. They are left for the successor to protect the village. This has been unanimously recognized by the Konoha high-level officials. The first Hokage, Madara, will most likely propose with a tough attitude in this meeting that other ninja villages should submit to Konoha, and then they can prepare for the first ninja war. When and where will the talks be held? Asked Madara. Madara's words brought Kamui back to reality. The daimyo will formally notify you of the specific circumstances. Itama replied. I think since the 5-cage summit is such a big matter, we should invite Izuna, Hashirama, and Tobirama to discuss it together. Kamui suggested. The 5-cage summit. This name is very appropriate. Let's put the discussion on hold for the time being. Izuna is not in the village right now. He is currently on a mission in Uzushio village. He will be back in a few days. We can then discuss it when everyone is gathered. Madara made reasonable arrangements. In that case, I will return to the mission department to continue working. Itama said as he left the Hokage's office. Then, I'll leave too. The police department still has a lot of work to do. Shenhui also made an excuse to leave. Kamui, please stay for a moment. I have something to ask you. Madara asked to stop Kamui. Shenhui stayed reluctantly. Madara stood up and walked to the door of the Hokage's office. After looking around and seeing that there was no one around, he closed the door and looked at Kamui with scrutiny. Even if you close the door, I can still slip out. Kamui said weakly under Madara's gaze. Kamui, it's just a 5-cage meeting. Do we need to gather all the Konoha high-level officials for a meeting? Madara asked puzzledly. Then, let me ask you, how do you plan to talk? Shenhui asked back. Of course, let them submit to Konoha. Madara said as a matter of course. Kamui covered his head and said, as expected, you can't sit down calmly and discuss the future development of the ninja village. The unification of the ninja world is the future of the ninja village. Madara said as a matter of course. Madara, your method can only trigger the first ninja world war. Kamui reminded, the first ninja world war is a matter of time. We should welcome the arrival of the Ninja World War while Konoha is still the strongest, instead of leaving the mess to our successors. Are you so sure that our successors will be better than our generation? Madara said with foresight. Madara, do you remember the meeting before we decided to capture the tailed beasts? Kamui asked. Kamui, you mean to send the tailed beasts into the war and quickly win the first Ninja World War? Madara blurted out. That's not what I want to say. What I want to say is that Konoha must never be the initiator of a war. Konoha participated in the first Ninja World War as a peacemaker, mediating the conflicts among the various ninja villages fairly and impartially and preventing them from launching wars. Over time, Konoha will naturally become the leader of various ninja villages. Kamui said righteously, the First Ninja World War is inevitable. It is always better to solve the problem peacefully than to start a war. Kamui continued, you have a narrow vision, Madara. You are the cage of a village now. Can't you think about the problem from the perspective of a cage? Kamui criticized, HMPH. Madara turned his head away and did not refute Kamui. Kamui could see that Madara had listened to what he said, and he also knew that if he continued, Madara would most likely fight him to death. So he said goodbye, saying that he had something to deal with in the police department. Get out of here, don't stay here, and get in the way. Ban shouted to drive them away. After Kamui left, Madara sat behind his desk, thinking about what Kamui said, and began to reflect on whether he was qualified enough to be Hokage. When Kamui returned to the police department, he remembered that he had forgotten to talk to Madara about improving Konoha's laws and absorbing civilian ninjas into the police department. He wanted to find Madara to propose it, but looking at the teacup in his hand and thinking about the conversation just now, he decided to talk about it the next time they met. That night, Itama told Hashira and Tobirama about the 5-Cage Summit. Hashira was worried about Madara, fearing that he would have the idea of conquering other ninja villages by force again, so he wanted to find Madara to argue with him. Tobirama stopped Dabashi and said, brother, we will have time to discuss it after Izuna comes back. Dazuyuzi felt that what Tobirama said made sense, so he resisted the urge to immediately go find Madara to argue with him. The other 4 major ninja villages are located in remote areas and are short of resources. At this 5-Cage Summit, the 4 major ninja villages may join forces to put pressure on Konoha and force Konoha to compromise. Madara is too tough and may very likely go to war with them directly. This is what I'm most worried about. Tobirama analyzed reasonably, starting a war directly is indeed in line with Madara's character. At that time, I will be an escort and attend the 5-Cage Summit with Madara to stop him at the critical moment. Dabashi said solemnly, brother, you are too naive. You and Madara are at opposite ends of the spectrum. It is very likely that you mean well, but end up doing something bad. You are not the best candidate for an escort. Tobirama retorted, the accompanying personnel not only need to give advice to the cage at the 5-Cage Summit, but also need to serve as a buffer between the cage so as not to embarrass the other party. Tobirama explained. The Great Pillar was disappointed again and asked, is it really true that I can't attend the 5-Cage Summit? Tobirama didn't say anything. Itama looked away, and the topic was dropped. Izuna, from now on our 2 families will be allies. This scroll contains the sealing technique of our Uzumaki clan. Take it back and give it to the Hokage. When you meet Mito, tell her that Uzashio village will always be her home, and ask her to come back when she is free. Also tell that brat Kamui that, if he dares to bully Mito, Uzashio village will definitely use the entire village's strength to attack Konoha and demand an explanation from Mito. Mito's father, the cage of Uzashio village, the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan, said solemnly. Chapter 50 Meeting. I will definitely convey your message. Izuna agreed. The cage of Uzashio village said something to Uzumaki Suzuna, who was about to live in Konoha village, and then asked Izuna to take her back to Konoha village. Izuna returns to Konoha village with the sealing scroll. Uzumaki Suzuna and her subordinates. The journey was smooth, without encountering any bandits or wandering ninjas, and they arrived safely at Konoha village. Uzumaki Suzuna was a little depressed because it was her first time away from home, and she often hid in a deserted corner and cried. After Izuna returned to Konoha village, someone immediately notified him to go to the conference room for a meeting. After Izuna arrived at the Hokage's office, he found that Hokage Madara, Police Department Chief Kamui, Ninja School Principal Hashira, Konoha Hospital Director Tobirama, and Mission Department Chief Itama were all there. The only one missing was him. The Enbu Chief, Izuna, you're here. Please sit down first, said Hokage Madara. Is the alliance between Konoha village and Uzashio village going smoothly? Asked Hokage Madara. Everything went well. This is the sealing scroll of Uzashio village, Izuna said as she handed the sealing scroll to Naruto. Madara, the person sent by Uzashio village is called Uzumaki Suzuna. What arrangements should be made for her? Asked Izuna. If He's of the right age. Send him to a ninja school. Hokage Madara arranged. The Cage of Uzushio village also told Mito to go home and visit, and also said that, if Kamui bullies Mito, the entire village will definitely use its strength to demand an explanation from Mito. Izuna said seriously. Shenhua's face turned black after hearing this, as Yuzi was the first one who couldn't help laughing out loud, and then everyone, except Shenhui, started laughing. Shenhui, it seems that the other person still holds a grudge. Listen, I told Mito to go home and take a look, but I didn't tell you to go back with him. As Yuzi said in a mean way. Kamui, after the 5-cage summit is over, take Mito home to have a look. And remember not to bully Mito in the future, otherwise if the Uzushio village attacks, I will tie you up and send you to the Uzushio village to apologize. Hokage Madara teased. By the way, Kamui, when are you planning to marry Mito? Itama asked casually. I have always had this plan, but there are too many important events in the village recently, so I will hold the wedding when I have some free time. Shenhui said. Then, I want to be the master of ceremonies, said Yuzi. I'm sorry, Kamui invited me to be the master of ceremonies a long time ago. There was a hint of boasting in Hokage Madara's calm tone. Okay, let's get down to business. What do you think about this 5-cage summit? Hokage Madara brought the topic back on track, since the 5-cage summit this time is going to discuss the development of the ninja village. The issue of resources cannot be avoided. Tobirama analyzed. The Land of Fire has a superior geographical environment, rich mineral resources, and abundant supplies. It is bound to be coveted by other ninja villages. They may even unite to put pressure on Konoha. Itama analyzed. It's not just pressure, there may also be a war. They hope to slow down the development of Konoha village and consume its manpower and resources in this way. If you think about it deeply, war is actually a good thing for them. Shenhui analyzed. What do you mean? Yuzi asked in confusion. There will be no immortality in war, and everyone knows that. But they use war to consume the excess ninjas in the village and use the few resources on elite ninjas. This not only ensures the development of their own ninja village, but also hinders the development of Konoha village. Why not do it? Kamui replied. After hearing this, Dazu slammed the table and said, how can this be? The village is to protect the ninjas and bring them peace. How can we sacrifice the people it needs to protect for the sake of the village? Isn't this putting the cart before the horse? Brother, to them, ninjas are just tools. As long as the ninja village lasts forever, such tools can be trained quickly. Tobirama explained. Then, we can give them some resources at the 5-cage summit and help them develop their ninja village so that things like this won't happen again. Otoko said naively. Hashirama, you are too naive. Do you think that they will develop the ninja village peacefully after they have the resources? After they have the resources, they will not be satisfied with the status quo. They will want more resources, and then they will still start a war. The resources you allocated to them in the beginning are just nurturing a tiger to harm them. Hokage Madara retorted. Madara, what are you going to do? If you want to start a war and conquer other ninja villages by force, I will definitely stop you. Dabashi said seriously. Hashirama, you have a narrow mind. As the Hokage, I naturally have to have a longer term vision and think about problems from the perspective of the Hokage. Waging a war to unify the ninja world is just a strategy, not a means. Hokage Madara reprimanded Hashirama without changing his expression. Kamui looked strange after hearing what the Hokage Madara said to scold the Great Pillar, and thought to himself, I don't know who was clamoring to unify the ninja world a few days ago, and now he is using the words I scolded you to scold the Great Pillar. Madara, when it comes to being thick-skinned, I would call you the strongest except for Kamui who knew the inside story. Everyone else found it incredible. Didn't Madara advocate unifying the ninja world and making other ninja villages submit to Konoha? Did Madara change his nature? This change was too big. What do you think, Hokage? Tobirama asked tentatively. First of all, Konoha must not be the initiator of a war. Konoha should play the role of a peacemaker and mediate the conflicts among the various ninja villages fairly and impartially. Over time, Konoha will become their leader. Hokage Madara replied. What should we do if they all point their spearheads at Konoha? Tobirama asked. Then, Konoha needs to show off its muscles in front of them. Kamui replied, isn't that still conquest by force? Said Banjian, it's different. The purpose of showing off muscles is to intimidate other ninja villages, so that they don't dare to attack easily. It is also to buy time for the development of Konoha. Izuna said, then, this 5-cage summit is a good opportunity for us to show off our muscles. We can't be too petty when participating in the 5-cage summit. Itama said. The topic suddenly changed and turned to the accompanying personnel attending the 5-cage summit. The candidates who will participate in the 5-cage summit this time must not only have outstanding strength, but also have certain strategies and be able to provide advice to the Hokage. Tobirama said, as the Hokage, it is my duty to attend the 5-cage summit. You can discuss the other candidates slowly. Hokage Madara said, as the head of the Anbu, it is my responsibility to protect the Hokage, and I should be among the entourage. Izuna said without hesitation. Izuna, the job of the Anbu is not only to protect the Hokage, but also to collect intelligence from other ninja villages and organize and summarize it. Izuna, you should stay in Konoha village. There are other medical ninjas in Konoha hospital to treat the wounded, so they don't need me, the dean, to be there all the time. I can also give advice to the Hokage, so I'm the most suitable person to be his entourage. Tobirama said, there are teachers teaching in the ninja school. My job is not much, except controlling the teaching progress. I should be among the entourage. Dazuzi interrupted. The mission department has not received any missions recently due to the impact of the 5-cage summit. So let me attend the 5-cage summit as an accompanying staff member. Itama said. Everyone turned their eyes to Shenmue, wanting to hear his reasons. Why are you looking at me? I don't want to be an attendant, and if you all leave, who will protect Konoha village? Kamui said, how about this? There are 6 of us in total, and except for me, the Hokage who must attend the 5-cage summit, 2 people will be selected from the remaining 5 to attend the 5-cage summit with me, and the remaining 3 will protect Konoha village. Let's start drawing lots. Hokage Madara suggested. After everyone agreed, Naruto Madara wrote 2 lots on a piece of paper and left 3 lots, then crumpled the paper into a ball and shuffled it for everyone to draw lots. Shenmue was the least concerned. He picked up a ball of paper first. When he opened it, he saw a sad face, and it just so happened that it said participate on it. When everyone saw that Shenmue was drawn to participate, it meant that only one of the remaining 4 paper balls would participate, and the probability of being drawn to participate was 1 in 4. After everyone got their paper balls, Dazu was the last one to draw the remaining 1. Those who didn't get a piece of paper didn't say much, except to lament their bad luck. Hokage Madara announced, Kamui and the Great Pillar will be the entourage to accompany the Hokage to the 5-cage summit. Izuna, Tobirama, and Itama will stay in Konoha village to look after the house. At the same time, personnel from various departments will be selected to temporarily form the Hokage Guard to participate in the 5-cage summit. After the 5-cage summit is over, the Hokage Guard will be disbanded and return to their original positions. After Hokage Madara announced the end of the meeting, everyone left the meeting room and returned to their respective posts. The contents of the meeting were announced. Of course, some contents needed to be kept confidential, so they were not announced. The first announcement was that the 5 major countries held the 5-cage summit, and Konoha village in the Land of Fire and its Hokage Uchiha Madara was invited to attend the 5-cage summit. After hearing this, the staff from each department felt proud and were full of energy. The second announcement was that Hokage Madara decided to select personnel from various departments to temporarily form the Hokage Guard to participate in the 5-cage summit together. After the 5-cage summit, the Hokage Guard was disbanded, and they returned to their original positions. Personnel from all departments rushed to sign up, hoping to be selected into the Hokage Guard. Without talking about how various departments were busy selecting members for the Hokage Guard, let's just say that after Kamui announced the content of the meeting in the police department, he went home and told Mito about the Uzushio village. When Kamui returned home, he found that Mito was not at home. When he was about to go out to look for her, Mito came back with another red-haired girl. Kamui, you're back. Let me introduce you. She's Uzumaki Suzuna. You'll live at home from now on. Mito said with the aura of a hostess. Suzuna, this is Kamui. You should have heard about him from the people in your clan. If anyone dares to bully you in Konoha village in the future, just go find him. He is the head of the police department and is in charge of the village's public security issues. Mito said to Suzuna gently. Hello. Shenhui said enthusiastically. Nice to meet you. Thank you for your guidance. Uzumaki. Suzuna said obediently. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.